sweet. Signing for the fam, yeah, you know my game's strong. Freedom with the banner, and I got my chains on. Secret Service watching snipers sitting on the roof. Truth is hitting hard, I bury you inside the booth. Founding father vision, yeah, I'm flexing with this cash. Big pharma, big tech, turn these dreams to bag. I'm the voice of the hood, trying to come and storm the gates. Balance in my hand, but the system's overweight. They painted white, yeah, but the stains running deep. Promise they selling it, but you know it ain't coming cheap. Legends walk these rooms, Lincoln, MLK. Now it's photo ops, power plays. All day I'm trapping for the vote. Big Zeus, it's the people's house. Big Zeus, powers in the air. Big Zeus, we knocking on the door. Big Zeus, we wanna hear you soar. Yeah. Who you think they asking for? They asking for that smoke. People, them players, yeah, y'all think this is a joke.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Got your soul. Put my portrait on the wall. They staring at me like I'm cold. Greatest story ever told. I will never ever fold. I'm trapping out the west.
Hey.
Doing deals all in the dark. Make your dreams come true. All I need is a spark. Red phone ringing, but you don't know who is on my line. Got the Constitution jumping, yeah, you know I'm so divine. No stains on my kicks and the rally outside. And the gates is locked. This power never defied. Spitting for the block. Head buses make them wanna fight. 1600, do it all day, all night. The people's house is a trap. Got the power, get it back. Money talks loud, time to clap. Fight for the keys.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You know what we gotta do.
In the people's house, powers in the air. It's the people's house. We knocking on your door. It's the people's house.
We wanna hear your soul. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. No reporting, ladies and gentlemen. You know, if you don't, and you know what to do, go ahead and find the nearest exit, all right? Because we got business to take care of. Seriously. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Tuesday. Yeah, we don't got much time.
It's like I'm stuck in time.
Yeah, it really is.
It's like a curse. And we can't escape it. It's like deja vu. Sleep, Zeus. It's deja vu when I'm running up these raps.
Good morning.
Terminator screaming.
I'll be back.
It's deja vu when I'm out here flying first class. It's like every week I gotta take out the trash. I'm on top of my game,
Ahead of the class. You can tell that I made it. Look at my grass. You should see it. Let's go.
Your tanks full of gas. I play the game so raw, I won't finish last. Sitting in my living room screaming how we made it. This is how it's supposed to happen
When you're rich and famous, right?
the algorithm turned me to a maniac. I guess we going viral cause my zodiac. I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet. Benjamin Franklin is my backseat. And if they use my ex, that mean they like me. They don't give me plies if they text me. I say it with my chest cause I mean it. Got a lot of confidence and I'm conceited.
They say that. Call me the master.
With a new whip. I'ma take
Here it goes,
off
ladies
this
and gentlemen. Here's the
spaceship.
part.
Tell you what, I've gone into Zeus's last
Lies.
to get a Vegas ticket.
Yes.
It was radical.
Lies.
It was horrible.
Mm.
I'm like, Zeus has gone way off the rails.
Ooh.
It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu. It's like deja vu.
It hurts every time.
It's like
It does.
deja vu.
It does. All right, all right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are back. We're gathered here in the Thunderdome to take care of some very, very important business to save this great country of ours. But before we get started doing that, ladies and gentlemen, you know what I got to do. We got to take care of some very important housekeeping items. For those of you who don't know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or some like to say Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H? Well, it's quite simple. The first H is because I'm honest, right? I'm the most honest person on social media, hands down. All right, I'll say it sometimes, even if it means they might not like me. I'll have to say it because that's where we're at right now in terms of our country and trying to save it. The second H as well, it's because I'm humble. Listen, if I get it wrong, I will be the first to apologize. But here's the thing. Just because your feelings are hurt, it does not mean I owe you an apology. 100% of the time, most likely it means you need to sit your special behind down and do what? listen to this special broadcast, right? All right, and then the last H, ladies and gentlemen, and you all know this is undeniable, right? Eugene is out there. He knows I'm about to tell the truth. It's because I am and will always remain, you've guessed it, the most handsome. Check out my features. I woke up like this. Alter Ego, it's nice to see you here trying to glean and get a little sauce off of Big Zeus, because you know I got a lot of it. I got a lot of sauce up here. And they come in here and they try to get it, but they'll never be able to get it. You can try to do it, but you don't have the recipe like I have, all right? Now, many of you know exactly why we're gathered this morning. We have to save this great country of ours from the evil clutches of this MAGA-possessed individual, this MAGA demon, certified MAGA demon. And what that requires is you got to be willing to hear the truth. Whether it's painful or not, you got to be willing to do it. What it requires is being able to catch these people in their lies and in their hypocrisy in record time, because you know a lot of these Trump supporters, they're poorly educated, right? A lot of the Trump supporters, they can't read past maybe the first or second grade, and they have all these tools like Open AI, they got Grok, they got all this stuff, and they try to use it. And sometimes, you know, you got two brain cells working together, and they're trying to do things that they don't have the power to do. It's sort of like a car or something trying to tow more than it can handle, right? You know what that does to the engine. It's going to ruin the vehicle and cause a lot of damage. And it's probably going to be pretty much a situation you got to take it to the shop, and it's just going to cost you so much money to fix. A lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? And so what I'll say this, what I've noticed is a lot of the Trump supporters, they don't want to talk to Big Zeus anymore. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to talk to you out there. You see them? You see these Trump supporters in the chat. They don't want to talk to us anymore because they know what's happening in this country, and they know the jig is up. The Democrats, you can say whatever you want about our polling numbers. You can say whatever you want about independents and real Republicans, MAGA. But the truth of the matter is we got some serious problems in this country. And in particular, we got huge issues going on in the cult. And these are undeniable issues at this point. And these are issues you can't even blame President Biden for. And so what I'll say is this, before I go any further, do we have any Trump supporters out there? Just identify yourselves real quick. Do we have any Trump supporters out there still? Anybody out there bravely weathering this storm? Right, Kabir. MAGA's polling is worse than the Democrats by far, ladies and gentlemen. Do not let what Donald Trump is saying or doing convince you otherwise. All right. So what I'll say is this: every time I ask them, I'm not a Trump supporter. Okay, I want to know: are there any Trump supporters, any Trump voters out there right now listening to this special broadcast? Because if so, I'm going to give you an opportunity of a lifetime. You might want to leave this live. All right, you do. Because it's going to get very, very uncomfortable for you. It really will. I'm unapologetic about telling the truth. I keep it clean. I ask everybody else that comes on my platform, keep it clean. But we're going to be very unapologetic about telling the truth. And if you do not want Big Zeus, that's me, to ruin your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, and everything in between. And they go, well, what's in between that, Zeus? And I go, you know, these Trump supporters, they just went through a McDonald's drive-through. Can I get an egg McMuffin, extra hash brown? Because you know they love those hash brown. And give me those 2 for $1. I don't know if it's still 2 for $1, but give me 2 for $1 apple pie. What would you like to drink with that, sir? And you know he only has 2 teeth in his mouth. Can I get a Diet Coke? Because you know their dear leader likes Diet Coke, right? Okay, how much is that? That's $6.76 at the next window. Okay, and say they're about to watch the show and they think they're gonna dive right into that breakfast and they're gonna listen to what I'm saying and they go, oh, I'm not so hungry because Big Zeus is telling the truth and I'm starting to feel a little queasy in the stomach, right? So if you don't want to experience that, MAGA, leave right now because it's going to get very uncomfortable. I promise you it will. But get this. You don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too.
Yeah.
But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right, and with that, the doors to the Thunderdome have officially closed. I take no responsibility for where the sparks start to fly. Get out of the way if you see them coming, because this is what it takes. This is some very, very difficult but serious work that needs to be done. First off, I'm not going to ignore the tragedy in the state of Texas. You know, my heart goes out to the victims. There's more victims being found. And you know, I just saw in the news Chuck Schumer. As much as I don't like him right now, I think he's doing something that, politically speaking, is going to get things going. He's calling for an investigation into the warnings that happened, that didn't happen in Kerr County, Texas, a red state. So W's to Chuck Schumer and the Democrats, because what I want to do is bring every single elected official in that state of Texas, all the way from the governor all the way down, bring them into Congress and ask them all the questions that we need to ask. My first question is, now, Joe Biden, did he pass the infrastructure package? Yes, he did. Okay, well, why weren't the warning systems installed in your city, in your town? How did that not happen? How did you end up failing the people? That's the first thing that I would do. And we're going to get them all, one at a time, to get up there and admit that their dear leader, 74% of you voted for Donald Trump, yeah. Go on their social medias, and if they ever wrote something similar to, I voted for this, these people need to be thrown in jail, all right? Because what is efficient, MAGA, about children losing their lives? Are y'all done denying science? All right, I could say this because I don't have any of the constraints you MAGA demons have, all right? I don't have any of those constraints. Look at this, MAGA, look at this. No strings attached. I'm not a hand puppet. W. Zeus. Yeah, I can say that because I see what's going on. I'm not an election denier. I'm not a science denier. I'm a real person, and I understand things. There's a lot more warmer weather. That means there's going to be a lot more water in the atmosphere, perhaps. And then places you don't normally see things happening, you might start to see things. And you can sit out here and try to pretend all you want that the Doge cuts didn't have anything to do with the Zeus. Well, then what did? What did? If there would have been sirens that went out, 1 a.m., everybody is asleep at 1 a.m. So the only thing that logically would wake people up is a siren. MAGA, do you understand how silly you sound out here trying to defend the indefensible? Speaking of defending the indefensible, what we saw yesterday with the press secretary, Carolyn Levitt, you just got to know this. When she walks out, especially without the cross on, because she normally walks out and gives a press conference with the cross on her chest. That's symbolism. We all know she's not really a Christian. She's not a Christ follower, but she does that sometimes to give, a heads up about whether or not the stuff she's saying is truly, truly demonic. Yesterday, she got out there, no cross on her chest, just pure demonic forces unleashed on the American people. And MAGA, there's two issues that I'm never going to let go. One is January 6th. January 6th is the biggest lie I've ever known a president or a politician to do, because he's still lying about January 6th, right? The next thing is, obviously this thing going on with, Jeffrey, y'all know who Jeffrey E. is, Jeffrey Epstein. I don't even like to say his name, but Jeffrey Epstein. My question to MAGA is this: which clown are you, MAGA? Which clown are you? MAGA, you guys got to be some of the most, I'll be honest with MAGA, honestly, if Joe Biden did all of this talking about, I'm going to lock people up and I'm going to release this and that, and he got in there and forgot what he promised us, right? Imagine if Joe Biden, this to my fellow, because me and the fellow Democrats out here, we are, we get on each other about the smallest of things, all right? Because the attention to detail is that serious for us, right? Y'all go sit up here and let this man gaslight you, get Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam Bondi, all of them into the government. And they are supposed to destroy the deep state. And I'm speaking in MAGA terms. I'm speaking MAGAnese. They know exactly what I'm talking about. These so-called cult members of yours get in there, and all of a sudden, it's like, how Trump says, I can declassify things just by thinking about it. I can just evaporate the Epstein list just by thinking about it. And now all of you Trump supporters, when I go into the red spaces, I'm just going to say it. Repeat after me, you MAGA demon. There is no Epstein list. And I want every single one of you Trump supporters to just say it with conviction. There is no Epstein list. Because you now have to walk around on TikTok and say that. And I don't have to say that because I know there's a list. I know what... I got the evidence, and we'll talk about that. But y'all have no other choice but to say that, MAGA, because anything else would be defiance, right? And that could get you in trouble in the cult. Yeah, MAGA, because I know that it's a blood in, blood out thing, and so I love the fact that Donald Trump he literally and metaphorically, he has his supporters, he has them in a stranglehold right now. And one by one, these people are going to start dropping off the face of the earth, whether it's because of the natural disasters or it's because of the lies that Donald Trump is doing. He's ruining their relationships. These people, I don't even know how y'all could continue to pretend like this guy isn't lying to you and taking your money anymore. It is what it is. W Zeus, all right? Now, what I'll do is, let's go ahead and get the sparks flying with Karoline Leavitt. Yesterday, she knew that she had to try to get in front of the situation, all right, in Texas. And what's the easiest way for MAGA to escape responsibility? Oh, try to blame the Democrats. So what we're going to do, because this is worthy of Lake of Fire, we're going to let Karoline Leavitt go ahead and order her footsteps straight to hell. All right, go ahead, Karoline.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all had a great weekend. I want to start by addressing the devastation from the tragic flash floods in Texas. Moments ago, the Department of Homeland Security provided an update that 91 innocent souls have now perished. Everyone here at the White House, including the President of the United States, is praying for the victims' families and friends during this unimaginable time.
That's already a lie. I wish the skies would have opened and lightning would have struck her special behind. Yeah. How many of y'all think Karoline Leavitt and Donald Trump and everybody at the White House are on their knees praying for those children, those innocent girls that passed away? Do y'all really think that? These are the same people that built Alligator Alcatraz. You can't do that. You can't do that. And this is why I say, MAGA, God's judgment is truly upon you. She's not, if they're doing anything, they're doing something more sinister than praying. They're actually, they probably got some serious, nasty voodoo stuff going on in that White House. I promise you that's what it is.
President Trump swiftly signed a major disaster declaration for Kerr County, Texas, to ensure our heroic first responders have every resource they need in the relief and recovery efforts. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem traveled to Texas over the weekend, and the entire Trump administration is working hand in glove with state and local officials to provide every assistance available. The situation on the ground remains dangerous, and there could be additional public safety threats with potential incoming heavy rain. So we encourage everyone in the area to remain vigilant, listen to all warnings, and respond accordingly. Unfortunately, in the wake of this once-in-a-generation natural disaster, we have seen many falsehoods pushed by Democrats such as Senator Chuck Schumer and some members of the media.
What the heck does Chuck Schumer have to do with what's happening in Texas? What do the Democrats have to do with what's happening in Texas? Do the Democrats control the White House? No. Do they control the Congress? No. Do they even control the Supreme Court? No. Do they control the state of Texas? No. Do they control Kerr County, however you pronounce it, Kerr County? No. But yet and still, this demon right here, ladies and gentlemen, will go on national television and spew out this hatred. She's spewing out hatred. Just flat out lies. And you Trump supporters, y'all suck it up like a sponge. Y'all absorb this, and then you get on the internet and y'all repeat it. So I'm just going to stop this liar right here in their tracks. Karoline, you're a stone cold liar. You're evil. I want to say may God have mercy on your soul, but I do think there has to be some sort of punishment. And we're seeing it actually happening in real time, where you go and you build Alligator Alcatraz, and you think you're going to set up a place where alligators are going to eat, people, right? And then a couple of days later, it's an alligator on your behind. I was going to say a profanity, but I got to keep it clean. It's an alligator on your behind. And it's going after your children. That's God's judgment up on MAGA right now. Y'all probably build Alligator Alcatraz, go sit in a church. Yes, Lord, take me. Oh, singing your little hymns, and then you go out and then the devil catches you. Boom. How did that happen? Oh, it's the Democrats. No, it's not the Democrats. It's you. It's you. You worship the devil. And so what I'll do is this, and this is the only way I can drive it home. Right, Rima? We're going to help them understand. Hey, MAGA, I'm going to warm up this lake of fire, all right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you, I don't want to do any battling because I'm in the middle of a battle. That's actually pretty funny. I'm going to show you what's about to happen to you if you don't get your souls right, all right? Because if you continue to worship Donald Trump, all right, despite the fact you see it clearly that Donald Trump is doing evil works. Oh, Dakota, do you think Democrats are cancer, Dakota? I got your cancer, and when you get it, don't you dare rely on that Obamacare, Dakota, all right? Because you brought it on yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send Dakota and all of these MAGA-possessed demons who come onto my platform but don't have the courage to get in the box because they know I'm going to condemn them and send them back where they came from. Let's go ahead and send these hypocrites and these liars straight to hell! I don't care.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
Hey, Dakota, you know why I don't care about sending folks like yourself straight to hell? It's because I understand that Donald Trump doesn't care about you. You know what Donald Trump thinks about you, Dakota? You know what he says about his voters like you?
You're either stupid or you hate the country.
And I'll ask the audience, which one is it? To the audience, which one is it? You see that, Maribel? She said both. Thank you, Rick. Rick said both. Trying to have a serious discussion with a Trump supporter is truly a waste of time. I've came to that conclusion, and I believe they've actually came to that conclusion as well, because there's no common ground, right? Okay, so let's just do, it's like this, playing in front of the freeway, right? You see these cars are coming down the freeway 100 miles an hour. There's no common ground about whether or not we should do it. Actually there is. Whoever believes it's safe to do it, you go ahead and play in front of the cars. Let's go ahead. That's the common ground. You go on the freeway and you tell me if you are truly Superman or Superwoman made of steel. And let's see how that goes. W. Zeus. Now, honestly, full disclaimer, don't do that. Do not do that, because I know there's a Trump supporter out there that's not thinking, and they're going to try to say, oh, well, Zeus told us to do that. No, don't do it. My position is don't do it, but you all don't listen to me because I'm a Democrat. Now, let me move on to my next topic, all right? And this is probably one of the more heavier parts of the press conference, because after this part of the press conference, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be honest with you, I stopped watching. I don't even know how I made it 15 minutes in. But I said I got to stop because I got to protect my peace. I got to protect my spirit, because you can't allow too much of the demonic stuff to enter into your body, because next thing you know, you go out here and you'll get in an argument with the person working at Whole Foods. He said the eggs, you're arguing with these people at the gas station. He said the gas prices, and then you got to go, okay, wait a minute. That MAGA demon is trying to do a number on me. And this has to do, ladies and gentlemen, with, you guessed it. Let me go ahead and remind MAGA of their dear leader. All right, let's go ahead and get this going, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have the photo? Yeah. Now listen. You have to, and I hate to put them up in my background, but it's something about having these two standing next to each other and then listening to the lie that helps MAGA understand. All right, trust me, I know what I'm doing, and then we'll get rid of it. But I got to do this. Listen to Caroline Leavitt have to give the Trump voters out there their talking points going forward in defending the DOJ, saying there is no Epstein files or Epstein list.
Americans who are just simply trying to do their job to enforce the law. They go home to their families every night just like we all do, and they deserve respect and dignity for trying to enforce our nation's immigration laws and to remove public safety threats from our communities. The White House is aware of the shooting that took place today in Texas,
I don't care about this.
And we are working with the appropriate federal agencies to get to the bottom of what happened.
Get to the point.
Caroline, the DOJ and FBI have now concluded there was no Jeffrey Epstein client list. What do you tell MAGA supporters who say they want anyone involved in Jeffrey Epstein's alleged crimes to be held accountable?
This administration wants anyone who has ever committed a crime to be held accountable, and I would argue this administration has done more to lock up bad guys than certainly the previous administration.
Stop right there. How you gonna say that, Carolyn, when the person you're working for is a criminal? See, this is how I catch MAGA in their lies. Yeah, you can't say that, Carolyn. You can't say stuff like that. You can't say that because it just took your credibility, whatever you had maybe 1% credibility left after that first part. Now it's pretty much in the toilet. It's at zero.
The Trump administration is committed to truth and to transparency. That's why the Attorney General and the FBI Director pledged at the President's direction to do an exhaustive review of all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his death. And they put out a memo in conclusion of that review. There was material they did not release because, frankly, it was incredibly graphic and it contained child pornography, which is not something that's appropriate for public consumption. But they committed to an exhaustive investigation. That's what they did, and they provided the results of that.
No, they didn't.
That's transparency.
No, it's not.
Sure.
That's not transparency, Caroline. That's flat out lying. No. You can't say all the stuff and then tell us, oh no, there's nothing there. I get what's happening right now, Carolyn. What we're dealing with is the fact that his supporters, they know he did it. They know he's in those files. He's in there. There's no other way to explain this photo. There's no other way.
So the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Go
ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat, which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction in United States history. Their emphasis on violent crime and locking up violent criminals has led to the arrest of 14,000 violent criminals. That's a 62% increase from the same time period last year. So this Attorney General and the FBI Director are committed to putting bad people behind bars where they belong. That they promised an exhaustive review. That's what they did. For any further details, I would refer you to the Department of Justice.
Why would I go back to the same Department of Justice, Caroline, that just lied about what information they had about this situation, this knucklehead Donald J. Trump and his, disgusting bit partner in crime, Jeffrey E. It's this kind of stuff, MAGA, that's bringing God's judgment truly on you. The other thing that I found interesting is, let me see. Okay, wait a second. What did I want to say? Oh, yeah. For some strange reason, and, I shouldn't use the word hate, but honestly, I dislike Laura Loomer. She's clearly a disgusting human being, but I do believe she's right about this. She is asking for Pam Bondi to be, she needs to resign. She needs to be fired because this is unacceptable, ladies and gentlemen. You ever responded to anybody to ask you a question? I just want to, Papa. Lady, Papa, send me a guest request. Come on up here, send me a guest request. All right, Papa, because I got the answers if you need them. All right, but you got to be willing to learn, Papa. I can't send you an invite for some strange reason, Papa. Maybe you've already been destroyed. I've already sent you straight to hell. All right, but Papa, send Big Zeus a guest request. I'll bring you right up. But in the meantime, let me take care of this. I'm going to send Papa straight to hell. I'm going to send Attorney General Pam Bondi, and I'm going to send the president straight to hell because you can't lie and tell us all there is a list and use that to get elected. All right, because he used that to get elected. All right, you can't lie and say there's a list, then go on Fox News, your network, and tell us, oh, it's sitting on my desk. Yes, have Elon tell us ahead of time. The reason it won't be on the list is because Donald Trump is on it. All right. Elon told me that. I didn't go to Elon and ask him to say that. He voluntarily told me that. And I know it to be true because Elon connected his computers to the government servers. He has all the information. Yes, he did crash out. And that's between him and Trump. I don't got time to get in the middle of that. But I know Elon was correct when he said Trump was in those files. And to be where we are at, ladies and gentlemen, building alligator Alcatraz, floods in red states, destroying innocent children, and this guy now coming out and telling us all, hey, there's no list. Well, goodness gracious, are you trying to say that for all these years we've been talking about this list, I've wasted my time and it's all been just a figment of my imagination? This is unacceptable. This is unpresidential. This is un-American. And it is truly, ladies and gentlemen, signs that this country is on the decline because we are literally watching a cult swallow lies, hook, line, and sinker. So what I'm going to do is this, since they're in a cult and they don't want to do it, I'm going to go ahead and warm up the lake of fire, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, let's go ahead and warm up the lake of fire and send all of these they call themselves pro-life. No, you're not. You're pro-P3DO. Let's go ahead and send them where they came from, straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon!
I hate that I have to do stuff like this, but I do it because I gotta save this great country of ours. Rick. Now, where's the Trump supporters at that were getting triggered while I was talking about their dear leader? And I wasn't even talking about him. I was simply being descriptive. I was talking about the facts. Where are you Trump supporters at now? All right, because somebody, I think his name was Papa, he sent me a guest request. I hope maybe he did. And this won't take long. If you're a Trump supporter, put a 1 in the chat and I'll bring you right up. All right. Because I thought I had people that were disagreeing with me, but I think they understood this is probably not a good experience for them to try to come onto my platform and try to climb Mount Olympus, only to be basically sent back to the depths of hell where you came from. All right. I'm curious why Biden didn't put out the list. Well, you know what? Biden had a lot of things going on, but that was never something President Biden authorized and said he would do. You know, that's how I think. And you know what? He could have done it. But maybe that's just something he didn't want to do. And plus, you know, this wasn't he wasn't really telling the DOJ what to do. All right, W. Zena Smith. I mean, but why even bring up President Biden, though? That's what I say. Why bring Biden into this? He had nothing to do with it. He has enough problems on his hands. The thing is, this was something the Trump cult members all said they wanted, and it was something Donald Trump sat his big old behind down on Fox News. What about releasing the Martin Luther King files? Yeah, I'm going to release those Martin Luther King Jr. files. Yeah. What about the JFK files? Yeah. I'm going to release all of that stuff, too. What about the Epstein files? Yeah. I'm going to release that. Not so. Because, see, you know what? They could do some things with AI and those Epstein. And so with the Epstein situation, you know, maybe we ought to rethink about that. Oh, you know what would have happened in any court case if he was sitting in the courtroom and he sat on the bench, and they were asking him and they put him under cross-examination about that Epstein situation. You know what they do? Guilty. W. Zeus. Guilty. Cooking and booking. Yeah. All right. So, yeah. Now, the other thing that I wanted to do is bring this back home because, see, they didn't think we had the evidence, but CNN did an outstanding job, MAGA, helping you all to understand that, your dear leader is truly lying to you. All right. And these are these are MAGA Republicans, ladies and gentlemen. And what they're doing is they're complaining about the Epstein list. And we'll get this on the record. Real quick. Well, if this thing starts, all right, you know how this stuff works, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, my goodness. Please, bear with me. This is a little bit of a technical issue. You know, sometimes you got to go from one browser to another, but we'll get this on the record because I know a lot of, we play these things because I know a lot of people, you're busy, you're working, and you just don't got time to keep up with all of Donald Trump's lies. And so what I like to do is I like to give people the opportunity to hear these lies themselves so that they know why I'm turned up the way that I am, because I am pretty turned up when it comes to this stuff. You just sit back and you go, how could you allow stuff like this to happen, ladies and gentlemen?
This is supposed to be about the most transparent administration. This is supposed to be about the most transparent administration ever.
What on earth is going on? Was Pam Bondi set up by deep state FBI career officials? Is she stupid? Is she so click thirsty that she got out over her skis trying to make news, being a Fox News star?
Pam Bondi, all of it. All those videos are saying, yeah, she's seen the videos. It's all coming out. And then now it doesn't exist. I mean, what? What?
The Jeffrey Epstein case, you do not know all the details of this thing, I promise. There are a lot of really obviously powerful people. This part you know, but the specific names we may not.
There were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable.
What you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her
what
desk?
happened?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox
I've
News.
got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that.
This seems like unforgivable behavior. How could she give us those phase 1 binders that contains nothing while bragging about the cover sheet that she made, the most transparent administration in history, and tell us that the SDNY had the real goods? The binder was just proof of a deep state cover-up. That was the real story, she told us. Only to now say, sorry, there's nothing. If I'm President Trump, I wouldn't tolerate it. She's a liability to him. She's not worth it.
This is supposed to be...
That's MAGA. That's infighting, ladies and gentlemen. They know their goose is cooked. And this is all what I call self-inflicted. And so what I'll do is this. One last time, for all of you so-called Christians out there that claim y'all love to protect the children. Some of them told me, I've protected the kids, Zeus. I've retired from protecting the kids. And what did they say? I'm a Christian. What do you have to say now? Bring your silly behinds up here and let Zeus do what he needs to do. I got to judge you for this. Bring your silly behinds in here because it's time to stop. And also bring the binders that your dear leader gave you that told you he had a list, because I'm going to send you and that binder back where you came from, which is where? Straight to hell. Get out of here.
Silence, you MAGA demon!
W. Zeus. Lance, the mods pinned your comment. Are you getting triggered, Lance? Maybe you didn't hear my warning at the top of the show.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
If you hate our country,
Lance,
if you're not happy
Papa.
here, you can leave. If you're not happy
Yeah.
in the U.S.,
Yeah.
if you're complaining all the time,
yeah.
very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
W. Zeus. Lance, I sent you an invite. If you don't want to come up here, Lance, then just zip it, all right? Seriously. We're at a point. Now I'm done with my monologue, and it's now time to hear from the people, all right? Because one thing is what I do, my monologue, and honestly, the monologue, I could do it for 2 hours. It's very easy, for me to do what I do, because MAGA gives us unlimited content, ladies and gentlemen. They give us unlimited content of just how incompetent and hypocritical they truly are. I don't believe there's a decent Trump supporter left on the face of this earth. There never was. I would give it to him in 2016. Biden should have released the files. Listen, please don't bring up Joe Biden when it comes to any of the stuff Donald Trump has going on. This is Donald Trump's problem. And the reason it's a problem for him, it's because he created it, just like what's going on with the trade wars. These are things, if Biden would have been the one that said, I'm going to do it, then I would be bringing up President Biden. But I'm not going to bring up what Biden should have or could have done that is in support of or against what Donald Trump got going on. No, the reason this is an issue is because I'm trying to help these Trump members, these Trump cult members, understand they are in a cult. They are in a cult. And their dear leader right now has them basically having no other choice but to go around on the internet and say, there is no list. After all these years, they have to say there's no list. And if that's not a wake-up call, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what is, but I'll continue to do my work. I'm done with President Biden. As a matter of fact, I get a little protective of him. If you bring up Joe Biden and you say anything negative about him, I get a little protective because what I saw happen to him, whether it's, within the party or just the repeated attacks that Donald Trump has done to him and MAGA, it goes, wait a minute, this guy's a senior citizen. You know the strength of a country by how they take care of their seniors. Okay, you do. And I don't like the fact that you're just bashing people like Joe Biden. I mean, look at his age. I mean, what more do you want out of a senior citizen? What more do you want? What more do you want? I mean, he's not going to get out here and run a 400-meter race. All right, I get it. We needed him because when Donald Trump was in office the first time, we saw what Donald Trump did. He had this country on its knees as a result of him mismanaging C-19. All right, and he lied to his followers. Go ahead and hit the body with some light and inject with disinfectant. At that point, please give me Joe Biden. Give me Joe Biden. Give me Vice President and Joe Biden. At least we live to fight another day. At least we live to fight another day. Give me any Democrat. I don't care. Are they a Trump? Do they support Trump? No. All right, I trust them. And whatever issues that I got, we'll deal with that next election. All right, we can get into it, but if there's not a Democrat in there, I don't want to deal with it. What we've got going on right now is we have a bunch of incompetent people running the country, all right? And what they're doing is showing us that they're not American. They're anti-American, all right? Now, let's move it along, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, Zeus, can I be the first My Infusion there? Well, let's go. There you go, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to bring up Brother Swervin. Here we go. Let's start it, W. Swervin. Might as well get going. Good morning. How are you doing, bro?
I'm hanging in there. My infusion therapist will be here any minute now. That's why I wanted to be first. So I appreciate you bringing me up. And
I normally don't catch comments like that when I'm locked in, but we're going to try to make it work.
You've been locked in all morning, and I agree with everything that you're saying. And Zeus, hopefully you know me well enough to know that if I disagree with something you were saying, I would also tell you that, right?
Yeah, and I would expect nothing less.
Absolutely. So I don't know if you're aware, Zeus, but you and I made the highlight reel yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where? CNN, Fox?
No, Janae.
Oh.
And I'm going to call her dumb behind out as the dummy that she is. Because I speak to on Fridays, I hold the Veterans Clubhouse.
Right.
And I speak to dozens of veterans on Fridays.
Yeah.
I spoke to a dozen veterans yesterday on my live.
Right.
So what she does, she won't come into this live, but what she does is she goes to the homepage and she searches up your name. And
really?
She sits there, and I'll send you the video if you want me to.
She's stalking me?
Yeah, she's stalking you, and you'll see. I'll send you the video when we're done here.
That's crazy.
I called veterans who voted for Donald Trump traitors. Right? And that was a conversation you and I had yesterday. And I want to tell this idiot, wow, I am not going to back down. You don't scare me in any way, shape, or form. I am not threatened by a single freaking one of you, because not a single freaking one of you have the ovarian or testicular fortitude to come into my live and confront me directly. And when you do, when you come into my live and you show me that you were raised by a pack of hyenas, I drop you like third period French. And Janae is the first one to sit there and whine and cry with her phony tears and her snowflakiness and sit there and go, oh, my husband would never talk to people like this.
Her hostage. I call him a hostage.
Yeah, but she says her husband would never talk to people like this. Yet she voted for a man who talks to people like this.
You mean women?
Yeah.
Wow.
So miss me with your garbage, Janae. Every single one of you. And this is why I called you what you are. Phony Christians.
Yeah.
You're definitely phony. And Zeus, you know me well enough to know, and I think everybody in the kingdom.
Yeah, and I hate that we have to be so controversial right now, but this is alarming, Swerve. I can't believe this is still an issue. Wow.
It is. And the issue that I have is, Zeus, like I said, you know me well enough to know, and many of you in the kingdom, and many of you who have been in my lives, you know I'm not a very spiritual man.
Right.
I don't need the Bible to tell me how to be a good person.
Correct.
Okay? But I was raised in the Catholic Church. I know what the Ten Commandments are. And they sat there and they called themselves Christian. And they sat there and voted for someone who broke at least 7 of the 10 Commandments. At least.
That's nice of you to say. I think he's broken all 11. And there's not even an 11th one, if you know what I mean. Yeah. He's broken them.
So the thing is, I want Janae to fully understand something. Janae, Stacy, who ran from a live last night with Wakanda Sentinel, where she tried to argue the point of how Republicans are the party of fiscal responsibility, and she took off running. Snowball or M-Ball or F-Ball, whatever the hell his name is. Jam and Lou, all of y'all, you will never come into my live and confront me directly. And you know why you won't do it? Because you're just like the man you voted for. A bunch of cowards. And this is why you no longer come up to Zeus's live. Because you cannot defend the indefensible.
Yep.
You keep asking these minutia questions. Well, who specifically is going to be kicked off of their health care? Who specifically is going to be kicked off of their snapping? You want me to give you names?
Yeah.
Miss me with this garbage.
Yeah. You're not lying.
We have the numbers. In Florida, 1.9 million people could potentially lose their health care. In Texas, over 2 million people. In California, another 2 million people could lose their health care. Okay, so I'm here to put MAGA on notice.
Thank you.
I'm gonna skip Zeus. I am gonna skip the dreaded double dog dare and go straight for the cutthroat triple dog dare. I triple dog dare any single one of you MAGAs to come to my live and confront me directly. And like the Republican Party, the spineless cowards, jellyfish that they are, I bet you won't do it. I bet you won't do it. So Janae, you can make all the videos about me that you want. I am not going to lose an iota of sleep over it.
Nope.
Racist, phony Christian. Okay, and I could sit here and be like, oh my God, Janae posted a video about me. This is going to get my children on the line. Miss me with your phony white woman tears. Miss me with all of that. Because you get mad because somebody posts a video about you and the dumb crap that you say. But then you want to go and post videos about me. Janae, I triple dog dare you to bring your phony behind to my live. The challenge is out there. Guess what Janae will never do? She will never
tell
come
the truth.
to my live.
She'll never tell the truth.
She will never tell the truth.
Yeah.
She will sit there and rely on her white woman tears. And we're supposed to be okay. Oh, well, we had Blagger talk to her about her use of the N-word. So it's fine now. So the same people that voted for the misogyny, the bigotry, and the hatred, and we're supposed to be okay with that. No. Janae is a racist. She is a phony Christian. And she is a a doggone idiot. I almost swore there, Mama Zeus. I apologize.
Wow, this must have really got to you. I mean, I don't think it bothered you, but this is alarming. And it's like she's making videos of you and using what I do to do it. It's like that's that's weird. That's creepy. It's stalkerish, and and this is a Christian.
Supposedly, and Tiny Tank Top Tim, Tiny Tank Top Testicle Turkey Neck Tim. When you came up to my live, you could not answer one single question. So I dropped your behind like third period French because you were nothing but a fragile white man in the United States of America trying to tell a black man in the United States of America what is and isn't racist.
Oh,
I ask you, Deuce, they do the same thing to you. They sit there and tell you, oh, you're lying. You're lying. Okay, tell me one thing that I've lied about. And they never will. And all Tiny Tank Top Testicle Turkey Neck Tim Turkey did when I asked him, what did I lie about? Oh, well, you don't understand. You got to, no. What did I lie about? So if you're up here on your live, what did I lie about? They will never answer these questions. You want to call us liars, but you can't tell us what we lied about. So I'm going to tell each and every one of you, Tim, if you want to come back to my live, I'm going to be off because I have infusion therapy today and she's going to knock me out. So I'm not having, but tomorrow I will be on my live. Tiny Tank Top Turkey Neck Tim, if you can prove to me that you were not raised by a pack of hyenas and control yourself, then you are welcome back in my live and we can have the conversation.
And he can bring his mascot MAGA queen with him. Yeah,
you can bring whoever you want with you.
I'll watch in the comment section. I'll behave. Yeah, bring your mascots and bring your Tiny Tank Top Tim Turkey Neck. I like the turkey neck component. I mean, that because turkey neck does taste good when you throw it in there. But we'll talk about that later.
Yes, my friend,
but bring your mascot. Bring your mascots.
And so I'm down with having that conversation.
Yeah.
But he will never do it. You know why he won't do it, Zeus? Because he can't control himself. Mm-hmm. He cannot control himself. Okay? And they get mad. Well, you're not going to talk over the women on my panel. That just ain't going to happen. And you're not going to sit here and say whatever you want to say on my panel. And when I ask you a question, I expect an answer. Because when you all ask me questions, I give you an answer. You don't answer my question with another question. So any single one of you MAGA, phony, outraged pieces of crap, you are more than welcome to come into my live and we will have the conversation.
Yeah.
Bet you won't.
I've tried, Swerve, so I'm glad that you're showing that you're willing to find common ground with these knuckleheads, these knuckle draggers, because I've tried several times. And they don't get in here, like you said, they don't know how to behave. They're crashing out, and they're just miserable people. And now I think we understand why you're saying that these people they've been raised incorrectly.
Zeus, I was listening to the live that you and Tiffany were in this past weekend.
Okay. I remember that. Yeah.
Tiffany handled her business like a champ.
Yep.
And when it comes to respect, I already respect Tiffany.
Yeah.
But it went up another 50 points on the respect meter. Okay. And for another one of these MAGA demons, what was his name? Hick Reekin?
Oh.
To sit there and call out his own sister. But he wouldn't call out the men that was manipulating his own sister. He never once did that. Right?
Yeah.
So this is the kind of thing that they accept.
Yep.
And I'm sorry. You know what? Not sorry. I'm going to say it one more time and then I'm going to drop.
All right.
Zeus, you know I love you, brother.
Yeah.
And you know I would tell you if there was something you said that I disagree with.
As you should.
You have been on point. And just like with me, I expect if I ever show up on my live with a background that says, give me $10 to kick this person, I fully expect one of my supporters to reach out and slap the dog crap out of me for performative. I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah.
Won't.
Yeah.
When it comes to them and we challenge them, Zeus, in my live on Monday, I sent 35 guest invites for MAGA to come up to the box. Guess how many came up?
Zero.
Yes, sir. Because y'all are you MAGAs. You are a bunch of cowards. You cannot defend the indefensible.
Facts.
And you will try, but you get dog walked on a 4-foot leash in 2 minutes, and I send you home to your mama crying. So
Amen.
You can back in her basement. You can jump down on the floor, butt booty ass naked, crisscross applesauce covered in baby oil and peanut butter while you're watching Donald Trump's victory speech.
Yeah.
And you downloaded that, you put it in your spank bank, and that's your idea of a good time. So
wow.
Come for me, MAGA. I dare. I'm like the Batman of TikTok. I can take it. So come for me.
Wow. Listen, he said he can take it. Brother Swerve, you came in on fire this morning. That infusion therapy, I might need to try that. I mean, because it seems like it's doing something very spectacular. Yeah.
I get fired up when I hear people constantly lying.
Yeah.
When I hear people like CD sitting there talking about, oh, Swerve, you're lying. Prove it. Prove this. Prove that. And we say, hey, here's where you can find the information. And then when they won't go and look, they won't read.
No.
And then they will sit there and say, well, you're lying. You don't know this. You don't know that. No, we know a lot more than you think.
Bingo.
So miss me with your garbage. And CD, you have been up in my panel dozens of times. And every time we hit you with a fact and we prove that fact, you simply sit there like the idiot, the useful idiot you are, and go, well, that's not true.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. White Buffalo, please. White Buffalo, I don't need you.
And White Buffalo, you're more than welcome to come by my live too, if you have the testicular fortitude. But you don't. So come find me tomorrow at 2:00 p.m. If anybody wants to synchronize their watches with me, it is 10:34 a.m. where I am right now. Bingo. I triple dog dare you. So Zeus, having said that, brother, thank you for hooking me up. I appreciate you as always.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and drop down. And let me just say to the beautiful, tiny people living in my telephone.
Yeah.
In the kingdom, you all be well. You all be safe.
Yeah.
On it. Have fun while you do it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, W. Swerve. Yeah. I don't know. Are there any Trump supporters that want to come up real quick and at least try to show us that perhaps we got it wrong? All right. If so, go ahead and send me a guest request, or go ahead and identify yourselves. Put in the chat. Put however you identify yourselves. Because the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, we know MAGA has nothing. We know there's nothing in the tank other than conspiracies and misinformation and disinformation. And what Swerve just did, he said, I got stalkers. Can you believe this, ladies and gentlemen? I have people on TikTok. They don't come onto the show. They do this thing called shadow watch, where you just type in the person's name and then they can watch. So this is what they're doing now. And then you go, oh, okay. And then they turn around and try to make themselves out to be victims. It's the most, it's the most wildest situation I've ever seen in my life. We can't. How are we gonna save our country, ladies and gentlemen, when stuff like this is going on? Oh my goodness. Let's move it along, ladies and gentlemen. Let's move it along. I'm going to try to get through as many of us as I can, because it seems like it's their hypocrisy is imploding on them right now. Good morning, Attacking. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing all right. You showed up to class today on time, or did you come in late? Because you've been your attendance.
I've been listening.
Good, because your attendance has been. I've noticed your attendance hasn't been where it should be, and so I was just a little concerned.
Well, Attacking's body clock has been off, so my sleep schedule is screwed.
Okay, Southern Delight. I noted that, Southern Delight. Okay, I'm watching you. Okay, well, what do you got for us this morning, Attacking?
Well, the thing is this. So as you were talking with Swerve, I was writing some things down, and with this new fiasco with no list for Jeffrey Epstein's island.
Yeah.
When in the beginning they said there was, they have it on their desk, they've reviewed it. Kash Patel and everybody else has said things. So now they're basically saying that the witnesses or the victims, I should say, they don't matter.
Mm.
They're saying that they don't matter, right?
Right.
Because they're saying there's no list. Yeah, there is. There's a list. How do you think the lady got prosecuted? There's information out there in regards to things. And now is Trump going to pardon her? What do you think? Yes, no, maybe so. So as I was sitting here listening, things that Trump has done in the past 150, 160 days. Played golf while four soldiers came back, and he played golf with Live Golf Course, so he didn't go receive them. Stock market fell 6,000 points in 3 days within his 45 days of being in office. Several plane crashes occurred when he was reducing the FAA and radar technicians because he was doing some stuff with that. ICE agents rounding up non-criminals and deporting them. ICE agents rounding up American citizens and holding them.
Yeah.
What about Zelensky in Ukraine? Pardon 1,500 January 6ers.
That makes me angry.
140 cops.
Yeah, that makes me angry.
Right. Hired several of the January 6ers. One of them, an ex-FBI agent who's now part of an FBI team to go after people who went after Trump January 6th.
Wow.
Used the DOJ to go after law firms and media and have them pay large dollar amounts because they were going to in the courts.
Wow.
Paid Ashley Babbitt's family $5 million, even though she's the one who caused her own unaliving by
Wow.
Trump.
Wow.
Lied about 20 million fraudulent Social Security recipients, but hasn't had one arrest.
Wow.
From ages from 100 to 360 years old. So we haven't had any arrests on that. Fired 70,000 Veterans Administration workers. And this big, beautiful bill lying about taking away Medicaid, Medicare, and so on and so forth.
Wow.
And I don't see anybody on the right-hand side using any economic any economic experts breaking down the bill saying none of this stuff is going to happen.
Right.
When I put up a 4-part video of Steve Ratner doing exactly that, using Penn Wharton, using Yale University for the breakdown of that, using the CPO analysis and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Saying that millions of people are going to be harmed.
When you say people, are you talking about Americans?
Talking about Americans. And so the thing is this.
Wow.
You know how the Republicans and Trump are saying they just want to stop the illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants from receiving Medicaid coverage, right?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Okay. So instead of, I was thinking about this last night. Instead of doing a blanket cut across the board, why don't they, if they say they know who's doing this, why don't they just go and arrest the people receiving the funds fraudulently?
Yeah.
Because by stopping them from receiving it, that reduces the abuse and the fraud that they're trying to do, right?
Right. So it's simple.
Yeah, instead of doing a sweeping blanket reduction in things, which is going to harm American citizens who are legally receiving it, just do a fine-tooth comb and just stop the people who are receiving the payments, because waste, fraud, and abuse can be stopped individually instead of doing a blanket one and harming people.
Right. So why haven't they done that?
Because they don't have anybody to do, because they don't care. They just want to do the tax cuts for the rich, which is going to harm our lower income people. And I put up that diagram as well. That the rich are going to get paid. The poor are going to get siphoned. And that's all that matters. And again, what Swervin said on some people, they don't care about the facts and the truth. They just spew whatever they want to spew without any verifiable information. And people, you know as well, have said you and I never put out real proof and information.
Yeah.
But they do.
Yeah, we put out all the facts. We give them everything they've asked for, and they still go back to the cult. They can't walk towards the light for some strange reason.
Exactly. And I don't see, Stacy's the one who shows documents, but she doesn't break anything down. She just says, go read it. You're going to see that it doesn't take any Medicaid, Medicare away.
Oh my God! Well, I don't consider that really, because she likes to say she debates, and I don't want to get. But couldn't a monkey do that? couldn't a monkey bring documents into a? I mean, that's simple stuff. It's not so much showing the document; it's actually being able to interpret the information on the document.
Exactly.
So show us that you can do that, please.
And you and I are not economic specialists.
Correct.
We have to take what the experts say is happening.
If you have common sense, you do that. Yes.
Exactly. So I'm going to use an expert in that field. I'm going to use an accountant, a forensic accountant, their information, like Penn Wharton, or CBO, or Yale University, and so on and so forth.
That part.
So they're saying these things are going to be, and then the thing is, we have to understand that before the bill was approved, all the Republicans were saying this is going to hurt people. And until Donald Trump twisted their arms, they were all no vote.
Yeah.
So in a phone call, listen, I'm going to primary you if you don't vote. You're going to lose your position. That's
right.
Basically what he said.
Yeah.
And they decide, okay, we'll vote for it. We'll side, because you had no votes from the Republicans, and they're all claiming this is going to harm people, from Ron Johnson to Chip Roy, to Rand Paul, to Susan Collins, to all these people who voted for it, but they were all no's. Murkowski in Alaska. So come on, people. And by the way, why wouldn't they implement these things in the budget until after the midterm election? Why wouldn't they do that now?
Right.
Why are they waiting until after the midterms to implement them, to put them into the working mode?
Good question.
Could it be because they don't want to have all these months of people being harmed that'll be upset and vote against the Republican parties and put the Democrats in charge?
Wow.
Yep.
Good question. Good question. Well, listen, you laid it down like a carpenter. W attacking.
Everybody be safe. Thank you.
You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. That was a show of force. I see I have some critics out there. I see I got some detractors out there, these people that support Donald Trump, and they're getting triggered by the way that I'm running my show. Maybe you didn't hear me at the top of the show, but I'll play it for you again.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now.
Right.
Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
W Zeus. Easy. This is a platform. I should just rename this show Dog Walking MAGA, all right? Because this is what we're doing. These folks know they're done. They don't have any real information. They don't have any credibility. It's totally down the drain. We're going off of a cliff financially. Thank you, Ms. Dot, right? Thank you. We're going off of a financial cliff. The cost of groceries are going up. I get in an argument with a MAGA demon yesterday. Oh, no, the cost of groceries are going down. No. You better go check your facts. The grocery costs are going up. All right. And the eggs thing, the eggs, we don't have enough eggs. I go to the store. The eggs aren't even free anymore. Back in the day, the eggs used to be free, and now they're not free. You actually got to spend $12, $13, $14 to get a carton of eggs. I said, what kind of country is this? All right. And this is what America voted for. And, and so this is why I don't have any mercy for you Trump supporters, because when you post things like this is what I voted for and the country's falling apart, I say these people aren't real patriots. These people are demonic. And these are seditionists, treasonous traitors. W. Zeus. All right. Good morning. Jim, welcome to the show. How are you doing? You're back. This is 2 times in a row. This is amazing. How are you doing?
Yeah, good morning. Hey, I just want to let everybody know that there's a House bill out of Texas, House Bill 13, and it's really important for people to go read that House Bill 13 out of Texas. And the reason it's important to go read it is because the narrative is switching very quickly about the story that's happening in Texas with regard to emergency response. And so if you don't understand that the Republicans in the state of Texas voted hands down against increasing emergency response to their area, that would be air raids, alarms, alert systems. Please do yourself a favor, because it is high time that Republicans that are voting for people who are not keeping their best interests at heart are aware of who's voting against them. Wow. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because this morning I woke up and I heard a woman come into a live, and she was claiming to be a Democrat, and she was attacking Democrats in Texas. Well, I hate to inform any one of you that live in Texas or in red states. If you are living in these red states, I don't care if there's 2 Democrats that voted a certain way. If 125 of them are Republican, they're the majority that's taking away your rights. And so if you're voting Republicans into office and they're voting against their constituents, that's who you should take issue with.
You got a warning. You want to drop and come back?
Sure. I don't know what I got a warning for, because what I said was fact-based.
I know, but you know how these people are.
Sure, I'll come right back.
All right, come on back up here. Oh, wow, boo on MAGA. You don't like him. These people, they don't understand. This is hard work. This is real information. All right, we're back. Let's go.
Here, let me show you so they know I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's your voting for the Texas House bill. This is the Texas House Bill 13. And you'll see all the green check marks right here. Those are all Republicans. The little red X's, those are all Democrats. You don't have to believe me, MAGA. What you have to do is comprehend that these people are voting against you. They're not supporting their constituents. I come with receipts. I don't make statements that I can't back up. So if you don't comprehend what's happening in your state, if you don't understand that they're voting against you, here you go. Here's the article from the Oklahoma Voice about how Texas lawmakers failed to pass a bill to improve local disaster warning.
Wow.
systems. You don't have to believe me. It's out there if you want facts and data. It's out there if you want to know who's truly supporting you and who's truly voting against you. This is an app. And this is an app that I'm going to use every single day to try and get information out to you, because I apparently care more about Republicans than Republicans care about Republicans. I care more about your children than you do if you will literally try to silence me for giving you facts. That's the saddest part about all of this, is that 105 people have unalived from preventable measures. And I'll tell you one thing. I found a new level of respect for Lieutenant Governor Patrick, because this morning he publicly said that air raids should have been available. Air raids should have been implemented in Kerrville. They knew the Guadalupe River was a threat. They've known it since 1987. They knew it 20 years ago. They knew it last month that there were floodwaters that were rising in San Antonio. You can be mad at Democrats all you want, but the truth is in the pudding, baby boys. If you are ignoring that that the very people you are putting into office are voting against you, then you are voting for your own demise. It is House Bill 13 out of Texas. House Bill 13. Go look it up and you will find the Texas Tribune. Also, if you notice right here, the writer of this story out of Oklahoma literally references the Texas Tribune, because that's where he got his data from. You guys have to want to be better. When you know better, you do better. And you are literally choosing to continually put Republicans in office who are voting against the rights of the American people. It doesn't matter if there's an R next to your name. They don't care. They are using you to get into office, and then they are stealing from you and harming your loved ones. And I'm willing to bet you that the president and owner of the Kansas City Chiefs right now is really rethinking about his support of the Republican Party that literally allowed his granddaughter to unalive, because now they've got them talking about how she's in a better place now. That's what they're talking. They're saying that on news reports now. So I want to let you know, if you think that it is okay for 8-year-olds to lose their lives to preventable measures, if you think that allowing disease and pain and natural disasters to harm your loved ones, then you truly are part of the problem. And it's going to be up to us, all of us, collectively working together to get these people out of office. And I know Val's around here somewhere. This isn't new. Texas has been in a stronghold of Republicans for over 30 years, and it has literally gone into the toilet. And I'm going to address one more thing, because yesterday when I was in a live, somebody literally told me that, and this is the final vote, so you guys can see it's House Bill 13, Texas legislation. The amended vote 443 tells you who voted on the amendment. You can get the details. If you really want to know what's happening in your country, in your state, in your counties, start getting involved. Start knowing what's happening. But yesterday, it was interesting to me because people were attacking the past again. They like to go to the past. They like to talk about Clinton. They like to talk about Obama. They like to talk about Biden. When are you going to be present in the here and now and accept that you keep defending the indefensible? You keep defending the very people that are in office right now, just literally squalling all over the place. North Carolina's falling apart. Kentucky's falling apart. North Dakota, South Dakota, all of your red states. The hunger is getting worse. The pain is getting deeper. You are the ones putting these people in positions of power, and until you take a stand and recognize that we are the United States of America, and if we are united, nothing can put us under. So the fact that you keep trying to vote for people who are tearing you down, they want you to hate the others. They want you to hate the marginalized group. They want you to hate the other people, all the while they're the ones committing crimes. And if you listen to the press secretary, when she was talking about the horrible crimes that were committed and how DOJ, you can take me off the big screen, love.
Gotcha.
DOJ,
yes.
When you guys were talking about that earlier, I don't know if you caught the fact that, as she was saying, 14,000 violent offenders, right? Do you know if there were that many violent offenders that were arrested, it would be headline news? Do you know that if there were that many criminals that were committing violent, heinous crimes in this country, that they would be taking action? And I want you to use your God-given sense. I mean, for those of you who call yourself Christians, you have violent offenders right now in this country that are harming American citizens every day that are American citizens, and none of them are making the news. None of them are being escorted by DOJ in front of cameras. Wow. They just want you to look at the other people that they're claiming. A perfect example is Garcia, right?
Yeah.
They were claiming he was a criminal. Wow. And what happened yesterday? They literally tried to talk about him.
Oh, they're telling you, Jim, in the chant Yankee. He just said, "Oh, please stop, Jim, please." He's getting upset, Jim. Could you please help Yankee understand why it's important that you say what you're saying? Because see, this is why we do shows like this. Yankee, listen up.
Well, Yankee, here's the thing. What is it that I'm saying that you don't agree with? That's my question. I'm telling you that we as Americans have to fight the corruption that's happening. I'm telling you that I'm going to vote to ensure that we have lawmakers that are actually following the law, that we have a judiciary that comprehends that the Constitution is the rule of the land. And if you don't understand that, then you are part of the problem.
Bingo. So
you can get out of my way.
Thank you.
And sit down and do what you do best, which is nothing at all.
Ooh.
Because that's the story of Republicans, right? They vote and they demonize other people, all along sitting there wondering what's happened to their country. Mm-hmm. They go after migrants that are literally feeding their families. They go after migrants that are literally constructing the houses they live in. And then they wonder why everything's falling apart when they can't quite comprehend what's wrong. What's wrong is you voted for the very criminal that you said was going to protect you. The man was a criminal long before he ever got into office. And then he surrounded himself with what? More criminals. Because when the people that are running Department of Defense have NDAs to protect them against the women they've harmed, when they have a DUI, when they literally blew the budget of the very companies that they were working for or nonprofits for veterans, when they stole from them, you're going to sit here and come up here and attack Democrats that have no record?
Wow.
I mean, you had General Austin, and you literally shit all over a man who proved who he was, who defended his nation, with integrity and honor, and you ended up with Pete Kegsbreath. That's who you ended up with. You ended up with a man who couldn't even be responsible for shining shoes in the military. That's who you ended up with. So please miss me with your degradation of Democrats or telling us to be quiet. I'm going to come here with facts and data. And I want you to be very aware that when this country starts to repair itself, it is those of you, and I'm going to be at the top of the list. I am going to be here every single day to remind you that you were the ones that allowed this to happen. You and the people you put into office in each of your states, in each of your school districts, in each of your churches, you were the ones. You voted for this harm to to befall on this nation. And you knew they were greedy. You knew they were the greediest, taking from the neediest of this country. You knew that. So miss me with any denigration of us, those of us on the right side of history that literally fought for civil rights and human rights and women's rights and educational rights and a belief in science and math. Because I'll tell you right now, you know that climate change is real, but you want to deny it.
And you know Doozy in my audience, she's a MAGA. She said it's a natural disaster and that it was nothing. And she said it was created by the Democrats. Do you know that's going on out there? They actually think the Democrats control the weather.
Well, let me tell you this.
Okay.
Natural disaster in and of its own name tells you what it is. Nature and a disaster. When we, the people, have the power of discernment, that means that we are given a brain to comprehend how to do things. So use your power of discernment, people, to comprehend that if you have the technology of satellites to tell you when storms are going to hit, the National Weather Service, the NOAA, you guys don't even know what those things mean because you fail to comprehend what they do for you. They alert you when floods are coming. They alert you when hurricanes are created out at sea, when the warm weather hits the cold weather and the winds start to form and it picks up oceanic water and then it floods entire cities in Florida and Georgia and North Carolina. See, you don't even know what a hurricane is. You just know that there's some kind of warning on TV in someone else's land. You forget that it's part of this land, the United States of America. So when I hear a hurricane's coming, I tell people about it. I tell people, did you know that this is breaking up? Do you know this is happening right now? Hey, I check on my friends in Florida. Hey, did you guys get the alerts? Are you preparing? Are you moving to higher ground? See, that's what you're supposed to do when you're United States of America. You're supposed to defend other Americans.
Amen.
You guys wanted to go and talk about, oh, well, California should have raked its leaves, but you didn't know that that was federal grounds, right? You didn't know that.
Oh.
You didn't know that. You didn't know that it was federal land that caught on fire that was failed to be cared for by the very people contracted with the federal government known as PG&E. No, what you did was you denigrated the governor, the state of California, and not the federal governor that was the federal government that was supposed to protect it. You guys fail on every level of education, humanity, or even common decency. Wow. And that's on you. That's on you.
Yeah.
But we the people for the people means that we all need to be responsible for our brothers and sisters. We all need to be talking about the things that are going to protect Americans.
Yep.
I don't care who you love. I don't care how you live. I don't care what you do in the privacy of your own home so long as you are not harming another person. Do you be you. I don't care what God you pray to. I don't care if you don't pray at all. What I care about is whether or not you're harming your neighbor, your child, your daughter, your friend through your hideous votes.
W. Jim. Wow. You just do what you do. I just like letting you go off and say those things because it's very important that you get it out there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and give the beautiful Jim another huge round of applause. It's spectacular, honestly, what you're doing.
So do me a favor and just make sure that you guys are all checking facts, data, and statistics, and call out the leftists that are attacking Democrats right now or who are claiming to be Democrats. Call them out in your lives. Tell them to come correct or don't come at all. Because the truth of the matter is, facts do matter. We are now living in a society where a president of the United States claims fake news because he is a fake president. We all know that he corrupted the vote in the first election he was in. He corrupted the vote in this election. And he lied about it when he lost. Because when you are such a petty, small man, you have to lie about things and then get caught up in your lies. We're witnessing with Department of Defense. We're witnessing with the Department of Justice. And for all of you who don't watch the news, which is also one of the number one tenets of fascism, is to get you to believe that the very news that's there to protect you and report on what's happening in the world in your country. I just want to let you know that Netanyahu literally just nominated Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize. So let me drop that little news bit on you. That two warmongers just got together, and while Texas is flooded, North Carolina is flooded, Virginia's being flooded, and hurricane season is upon us, and people are unaliving, Netanyahu and Trump are sitting across the table about to have a cabinet meeting with your Republican maggot Congress, and they're going to literally try to make you believe that somehow Donald Trump is a peace-loving president after he literally just dropped 3 boom booms on Iran. And let me remind people, Iran never in the history of its country has ever attacked another country unprovocated. But you know who has? The United States of America and Israel. So the Peace Prize should actually go to Iran. Sorry.
W Jim, and I see people out there saying that didn't happen. Netanyahu didn't nominate, and so what we'll do is this. Let's go ahead and get this on the record. Listen to Netanyahu nominate Donald Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize since you brought it up. All right.
The president has already realized great opportunities. He forged the Abraham Accords. He's forging peace as we speak, in one country and one region after the other. So I want to present to you, Mr. President, the letter I sent to the Nobel Prize Committee. It's nominating you for the Peace Prize, which is well deserved, and you should get it.
Thank you very much. This I didn't know. Wow. Thank you very much. Coming from you in particular, this is very meaningful. Thank you very much, baby.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing.
There you have it. Thank you very much, BB. Coming from you, this means a lot. That's what he said. This is a war. These are two warmongers, right, Jim?
Not only two warmongers, both of them have committed crimes against their own countries. Let me say that again. Both of them have committed crimes against their own countries. It's not just about other countries. It's about their own countries that they have taken charge of. The reason that Netanyahu is doing these attacks is because the longer his country is at war, they cannot prosecute him for the corruption. He stays in power. As long as they are at war, they cannot prosecute him for corruption. The ICC has charges against him. People need to understand the laws of our nation and international crime. This is a man who has committed crimes for decades and decades and enriched himself. You have Trump, who literally is a 34-time convicted felon. And you guys are sitting here going, what? I don't see the problem. And you're having the audacity to talk about migrants who have come to this country legally, who are going through the asylum process to earn citizenship, all the while paying billions of tax dollars into Social Security, into Medicaid to help the United States of America. And you guys are like, nope, get rid of the migrants. Get rid of the migrants, and then wonder why that housing is not being built. Wonder why infrastructure is falling apart. Wonder why buildings are collapsing. Wonder why agriculture is expensive. It's because there's no one to pick it, and the crops are rotting.
Bingo, bingo, bingo. W Jim. They know.
Anyway, I will make room for someone else. I have a horrible headache. I just wanted to come up and say, I love you. Keep doing what you're doing. And to all of you out there, it doesn't matter if there's an R next to your name. You don't have to vote for corruption. Don't believe me. Research Trump before he ever set foot on the political stage. And those of you who believe he was a Democrat first, you'd be wrong again. He's changed his political affiliation multiple times from Republican to a Reform Party to Democrat back to Republican because he knew he would never be elected as a Democrat because we don't buy bullshit.
Oh, W Jim, and you gotta keep it clean. She did it twice, but oh well. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Mom. W Jim. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give Jim a huge, huge round of applause. She cooking and booking, seriously. That's serious cooking and booking. All right. We'll move it along. All right, we'll move it along, ladies and gentlemen. See, this is what it is about, ladies and gentlemen. Getting folks out here to acknowledge what's really going on. All right, now let's go. Do we have any Trump voters out there? Put a 1 in the chat. I'll bring you right on up here. If not, we will keep the blue wall. We will keep the blue wall up as high as it is because the blue wall, ladies and gentlemen, is very high today. And that's because of all of you out there, especially in the chat. Thank you, everyone. I mean, we could be doing so many other things, all right? But we got to do the wonderful work that we're doing. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Who do we have next? All right. Let's see. Yes. Who do I have next? Oh, my gosh. Who is this? All right. All righty then. All right. Who is this? Who is this? Endlessly devoted. Oh, I guess that didn't work. All right. Who's endlessly devoted? Okay. I guess that didn't work out either. All right. Well, what we'll do is I think they're getting it that it's probably not a safe spot for people who are just wanting to get up here and lie. All right. Let me bring up. Where is he at? Where is he at? Let me go. Oh, there he goes right there. All right. Good morning, Q Dog. Welcome.
What's going on, bro? How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Oh, I'm just listening to the Kingdom, and as always, Jim always cooks and ate the whole Play-Doh.
Sure did. It's here. I mean, you just sit back and listen, and you go, it's so much information that these people are having. It's overload, wouldn't you say?
Oh, definitely, all day long.
Zena.
It's a situation where you have MAGA that you tell them all day long. Jim can tell them all today. She's blue in the face. Go read this. They can't read, and they can't write.
Yeah,
and they damn sure can't count.
Yeah,
you know the live that we were in yesterday. Clear example. You know, what's her name? Missy?
Yeah, that was Missy. Oh. Yeah. Please continue.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to talk to us, by the way, but please continue.
We go in there and they have nothing to say. And then they called me out, right? So, you know, the chain broke off the dog.
Yeah.
And you gonna call me out and call me a P? Okay, well I'm gonna show you what a P does. I'm gonna show you what a dog does to a P.
Yeah.
So they come up in there. Snuggles was in there, you know. Missy asked him, "How many accounts are you on?" I stopped counting because they keep banning me because you're telling false information. Nobody's listening to you, and the one person yourself that was in there, they decide, oh, well, if you throw a Zeus,
this is what they did.
Gift, you throw a Zeus gift. We'll drop Zeus.
This is what they do. You were there when that happened.
Yes, and this is how the MAGA mind thinks.
Wow.
So you had almost 300 people in there in her live. And as soon as they drop you, it drops down to 18. Make it make sense.
You know, they did this, and I had to just say, wow, these are the same folks that were crying that they didn't have money to buy eggs. Their groceries were out of the roof because of Joe Biden. They were crying about their utility bills. But they all of a sudden could put together a care package to get me off of a platform because what were we doing? I was just telling these folks the truth that we're not going to have a country anymore.
But here's the ticket on it. When you love Zeus, I'm still in there, right?
Right.
I'm scared they hadn't brought me up on the panel yet. And Missy asked her, I can't believe that you threw that. That's $350, and you got kids.
Took money from their kids to do that. Ain't that something?
And then they brought me up. I roasted Snuggles so bad, and whoever else was on the panel. I
Wow.
roasted them so bad they kept muting me and eventually dropped me.
Wow.
They talking all this mess. I said, look here, y'all had to come together after she threw that Zeus.
Yeah.
To give her some coins back. They literally did that. This is the MAGA mind.
Wow.
They don't think. They react before they think.
You hear that, Doozy?
And
This is
got
you, Doozy.
up in here. Doozy, come on, bring your behind up in here. Because you got
Doozy is really, you got a violation, bro. We're going to drop you.
I'll come back. All
right. Oh my goodness. This is the MAGA mindset. Fiscally irresponsible, and they're just running around here throwing money away because they don't want to hear the truth. Normally you pay for the truth. These folks, they pay to not hear the truth. W Zeus. I've never seen anything like this in my life, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't tell us the truth. Please don't do it. Okay, well, how much will that cost you? $5,000. Here you go. Please, I don't want to hear it.
This is what they do. But one thing, as I always say, one MAGA don't stop no show.
They sure don't.
So y'all keep on doing what you're doing. Keep throwing out the alerts to TikTok and reporting. That lets us know that we doing the right thing. Tiny Tank Top 10, always in the chat.
Yeah.
Boozy, Bobblehead Boozy. Come on up here and stop being in the chat. Come up on the panel.
Someone wrote, I'm at work right now. Ain't that funny? So you're stealing from your job. You're stealing from your job watching the show.
Right.
Okay, right. I got it. Your job should fire you. They should fire you, right? WQ, dog. It's like when you speak, they hear you, and it makes them tremble.
Yeah, you. I know you got a 15-minute break. Take a 15-minute break. That's what I'm on right now.
Well, they could be, working where the immigrants used to work now, right? And that might be why they can't do it. Any of y'all want to report live from where you're at and show us how you've gotten better jobs now since Donald Trump done these mass deportations? I would love to see it, and then show us your pay stubs, please. I want to see that.
I'm just waiting for all these tipper tappers in the chat to eventually come up. Y'all got a lot to say in the chat, but y'all don't you don't tap the screen on Zeus's live, but you in here every day. You don't send gifts. You don't do anything but be in the chat saying y'all BS.
Yeah.
And you never come up. You don't do anything. Why are y'all even here?
Yeah. They don't contribute at all. They take. They are a bunch of takers. They take from
contributing. Take from your job. You take it from your own time, because you really wasting your time coming up in here.
Yeah.
But you hear every
takers. These are a bunch of takers, and these people, their hands, they look like cups because they beg so much. W Zeus, I got that. They're a bunch of beggars.
Yeah, when are y'all gonna realize this is the Shaq and Kobe show, and we gonna dunk on y'all every time y'all come into the lane. Y'all gonna get it blocked every time y'all come into the
reject.
Keep coming in. I'm gonna send it in the rafters all day long. That's what I do.
Yeah.
That's what I do. But you want to come up in here with all this, oh, well, you're fear mongering, you're this and that. And it's clear in the front of your eyes of what's going on.
You said I'm gonna send it into the rafters, and then this knucklehead said invite him up. Goat, your connection isn't strong enough to be up here.
If you can't hear me, then you can drop me, I guess.
Okay, well, what's going on? I think I can hear you better. What brings you here?
I'm just curious if y'all think anyone buys this self-indulgent grandstanding.
You want to take this Q dog, or you want me to do it? Because we got somebody who's a little wet behind the ears. Maybe this is his first time here.
One of y'all. Just
hey Zeus,
name your price.
I'm a debunk anybody that decides to have a Cash App in their bio.
Okay, start there.
That's right. Hit me up, y'all.
You up
here for Cash App in the bio, y'all.
Hey, wait! You're not even listening, so we're gonna mute you because we don't like all that yelling and over talking. we can have we can be very serious and professional and totally debunk you. So please, Q Dog, go ahead and educate this demon real quick.
Like I said, he come up here just for frivolous thrills. Anybody that decides to put their Cash App in, only ones that I know to do that is ladies.
Yeah.
When you decide to put your Cash App in, what do you need money for?
Okay, let's start there.
You ain't get no coins from
let's
here.
go there, Goat. Goat. I don't even want to call you Goat because Goat means greatest of all time, and then you added ness to it. It doesn't add up, in my opinion. So, how much do you need, Goat? Please come off mute. How much do you need? How many? How many?
5K. Y'all can send me 5K right now, and and that'll be
Now
sufficient.
let me ask you because I got to do you like my
What's
mom
up?
and dad. My mom
What's
and
up?
dad would do me. What are you going to use it for?
Let's hear it. What am I going to use it for? To buy groceries now that all these illegals are going and we're stopping using them for slave labor.
Can we not refer to
Since we
them as
stopped using them for slave
illegals?
labor.
Can we not refer to them as illegals? And please, I don't even like you using the word slave because it triggers me a little bit, and I'm working on that. So
why is that? Tell me why. Tell me why.
Well, I want to stick to why you need the $5,000
Why
from
does
a
it harm
Democrat.
you?
Why do
does
you
it harm
need?
you?
I said it triggers me because it
Okay,
makes me
so-
want to. It makes me want to send you straight to hell because I can punish you for what the sins of this country are. There's an original sin in this
What
country.
did
It's
I
called
do?
slavery.
What did I do?
I just do it to you because you don't. You're a Trump supporter.
No,
That's what you
sin,
did.
What sin have I committed?
You voted for Trump.
Who said I voted for Trump?
Did you?
Wait, you presuming shit now? Like
who
you're gonna
did you
presume
vote
my
for?
gender too?
Well, then you're cursing on my show. That's another sin. So you didn't.
You're gonna presume my gender too?
You don't want to answer our question?
No,
because I don't need to. I
a couple
don't.
questions.
Okay, Q Dog asked you a question. Go ahead, Q Dog. Go
Maybe
ahead.
I'll say it one more time. Who did you vote for?
Trump.
Okay, so
you said you didn't vote for Trump. See, that's the MAGA mind.
That's right.
That's the.
So you think so? So here's the thing. Here it is.
You're either stupid or you hate the country.
Bro,
heard
are
it?
you able to debate at all? Like, are you even
You have
halfway?
you have
Are
not
you a
brought
halfway
anything
clown?
up here about debating.
Are you a halfway
Okay,
clown? Is that what it is?
Hold it just for 1 second, Willie.
Yeah, he's too scared. He's too scared. He can't
One
debate.
second.
He can't
I got a
debate. It's
question
all
for
good.
you.
Hold
You said
on.
You talked about immigrants. Are you talking about your kind as well?
I had to mute him because he's
Are you
trying to get
talking about-
$5,000
Are
today.
you
out of
talking
his-
about your European kind as well? Answer that question.
There's a difference in illegal immigrants
What do you mean,
and
Sir,
conquerors.
sir,
There's a
you're
difference
not
in
even,
illegal
sir,
immigrants
sir,
and
sir,
conquerors.
sir, sir. You
This
can't
is a
even
conquered
answer.
land.
You cannot even answer our questions.
No,
I
you're
don't.
conflating two different things.
If
There's a
that's
difference in an illegal immigrant and a conqueror.
Let me break
and we
it down
conquered
for
this
him,
land.
please.
you conquered, okay.
Let me break it down for him. How many illegal immigrants from Europe do you think are in the United States as of today? Since you want to debate.
This is the best and the brightest MAGA has to offer. I'm getting bored. I don't see any signs of GOAT at all. I see signs of loss, broke. How do you call yourself a
scared?
GOAT?
Are you
Wait a
scared?
second. Hold on. How do you call
Clearly
yourself a
scared.
GOAT? How do you call yourself a GOAT and you need $5,000 from the Democrats?
Hey, I'll take free money wherever it's coming from. I ain't
And you
above
said your
nothing.
groceries,
I ain't
you need them
above
to buy.
nothing.
You said you need groceries, and so what
I'm
that tells
good.
me is your dear leader has underperformed. He's not delivering to you.
No, I'm just trying to tug at the heartstrings like y'all do. That's all.
No,
I'm just trying
no.
to tug at those heartstrings.
No,
You haven't answered my question.
and he will never do it, Q Dog. And unfortunately, Big
'Cause
Zeus
y'all
has
are-
other
y'all are
matters.
feelings over emotions.
Ladies and
Y'all are
gentlemen,
feelings over
come on up here, Q Dog. Hold on up, come on back up here, Q Dog. And in the meantime, let me go ahead and send him where he came from, straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
W Zeus, WQ Dog. We dunked on him. We put him on a poster together, and it was so easy to do. When he said he needed $5,000 to buy groceries, I was done, to be honest with you. I've never heard him be so honest with us because they can't afford to eat right now because you see what's going on.
I'm gonna give you a highlight reel that I just put on his behind, and it came from my close friend and my frat brother, I love him to death, Shaquille O'Neal, when he dunked on that New York Knick and had him between his legs and pushed him into the outer bounds.
Yeah.
That's what he just got right about now because he couldn't answer anything.
We rocked this world, WQ dog. We rocked this world. Yeah, he's waiting on his Doge check, and he thinks we have it. We don't got anything for you to, what are you going to do with the five? Oh, I'm going to buy some groceries. You don't need $5,000 for groceries, champ. I know what you're about to do. You're about to go somewhere out back and get something real nasty. You know, they call it, it's a chemical out there. They probably laced it with something, and he's going to do something very disgusting to himself. Hunter Biden style. W. Zeus.
We do not entertain anybody that can't get past 48 followers in 2 years.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Fair enough. Well, listen, brother, we got to move it along because I see the clock is winding down, and I'm going to try to get a few more of our mutuals because they get on me when I don't bring them up here. They go, oh, Zeus, I hate you, Zeus. I waited to be brought up, and you didn't, and I have to say, listen.
Yeah, bro, get Dr. Lex up. I'm good, bro. We done did our thing. We
All right, let's call this. Let's go ahead, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna move up WQ dog. All righty then. Okay, I got it. There's a few more people I want to get up, by the way, not just Dr. Lex. So let's try to be as brief as we can. We got about another 20 minutes. Alex, my own. Okay, Shay. Good morning, Dr. Lex. Welcome.
I got something for you. We had this discussion yesterday.
Oh,
I lost my friend
Dr. Keisha.
Friday.
Yes,
I lost my friend Friday. He self-unalived. His name was Rufus Cooper. He was also known as Young Noble from the group Tupac and the Outlaws.
Oh, wow, really? W Doc, thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
I'm so sorry for your loss.
I've lost two musicians this week, so I've been getting in here and putting in this work.
But Mia, I gotta say
I was actually
something.
tracking this weekend. Go ahead.
I gotta say something, Doc. Mia said, Dr. Lex is so handsome. Mia, I just wanted to say, are you okay? Because I don't know, but you gotta understand there's really only one Triple H, Mia, and that's me, Big Zeus. All right. I am the most handsome, all right, Mia? And so I just wanted to encourage you to keep that in mind going forward so that we don't make any of those mistakes that I just saw happening in the chat, all right? And because I love you, but I got to tell you the truth, all right? And that's another W for Zeus. Thank you. All right, Dr. Lex, I just had to address something. It was very important because we can't have treason in the kingdom. And you could tell Mia, if you sent her to say that, you could tell her she doesn't have to say that, all right? Y'all, you and Nutty, y'all be doing some wild. You and Eugene too.
Takesha, that's messed up. That's
Yeah.
okay though. But we had a discussion on the phone yesterday. Remember?
Yeah. Hey.
I will vote. I will vote.
For what? Hey. What we voting for?
I will vote.
What we voting for?
I will vote.
What we voting for? Donald Trump? Hey, send me that. We're going to have to do something with that.
I got you. I'll put it in the email.
Maybe I'll do something with that. We'll do the I Will Vote for Donald Trump remix. And what we'll do is help these people understand they made a very terrible decision. W, Dr. Lex. I shouldn't do that because they don't like it when I say that, but I will do it if I need to, if they don't wake up and get out of this cult they're in. All right. I'll do it.
Well, your comments are a comedy show.
They're honest people, though. You got to give it to the people out here who tune in and say what they say, minus MAGA. A lot of these folks, they're really honest and they speak from their heart. So it's okay.
Yeah, I was in here. I'm about to drop the vocals, too. I'm redoing the song I released the video on live. And I might host the music live after you get off. I don't usually host lives when you host lives. But Diane Harshbarger, she said a couple of days ago that we should be prepared to not have emergency services if something happens.
And who is Diane Harshbarger for the vote?
She's 1st District of Tennessee. This is my district.
Okay. So she said y'all should just
She's the one that called Al Green a boy.
Racist.
Okay, she's also got rich from Big Pharma and bought her a seat in office. And most of the people around here, we had a really big issue with some items that people were taking that were unaliving them.
Casey, enough of that, please. Dr. Lex, I'm going to have to talk to you offline because this is the second person, but we'll get into that. I'm going to have to...
Don't kick me off on this.
No, I don't want to, but if you don't tell these folks who come in here, you pay these people to say these things?
No.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure because we couldn't have any of that either because that's called ballot stuffing in my world, and we can't have that happening.
But what I'm saying about Diane Harshbarger is she got rich on Big Pharma. She sits in this throne, or sits on this throne, and she doesn't know the people in these hills and hollers down here in eastern Tennessee. Like, I'm getting ready to go up the hill trying to help my neighbor pick tomatoes and stuff and cucumbers, and then I'm out here on the river. I'm seeing all this damage from the floods. Hurricane Helene hit directly where I am, and they haven't repaired all that yet. She's doing nothing. And she voted for this bill, which is going to hurt most of the people around her. A lot of these people are disabled and on Medicare and Medicaid. There's a lot of people around here in these regions.
Hold on. Dr. Lex, I got to say this. Any of my mods want to turn off the comments for a quick second? Because I don't know what Lex has done this morning, but or Lex, you could just turn your camera off, perhaps. I mean, I don't.
You want me to turn my camera off?
It's getting out of hand this morning. It's getting out of hand, and maybe I need to bring up Takesha or somebody needs to say some prayers or something, because we got a different type of demonic force in this live. And
so talking about Diane Harshbarger, I've submitted getting the paperwork. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can't see me though, right?
No, unfortunately. But listen, it is what it is.
So,
I'm a big enough kind of individual where I won't even let it bother me, and I'll deal with it. I can deal with it. You're not taking anything away. As a matter of fact, it's kind of like I actually think you're enhancing what I'm doing. So go ahead, Dr. Lex.
Okay, so Diane. I'm submitting my paperwork. I'm getting my signatures together to run for Congress against Diane Harshbarger in the 1st District of Tennessee. And I automatically, I got enough signatures the first time I set it up here. And
what are you doing with those signatures? Look at it.
I have to have signatures for the people in the 1st District of Tennessee to submit my application to run for Congress.
Lord have mercy. Okay, fair enough. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give Dr. Lex a round of applause. He's saying a lot without saying a lot. Seriously.
So, the thing is I know I'm a part of the fabric. I've lived all over in big cities and everywhere, but I'm a part of the fabric of the Appalachian Mountains. That's where I was born and raised. Even though my grandmother, is from Jamaica, but I'm a part of the fabric of the Appalachian. I can see the Appalachian Trail from my house, and I understand these people, and I have an endearing relationship with them. My grandfather ran moonshine up here, and I lived in a housing project next to a cornfield.
Wow!
Look,
that's quite the background. That's quite the background, brother. And you came where you're at to do what you're doing. That's pretty incredible. I got to give it to you.
But for me to be in the place that I am in life, in the position, me and my 3 sisters and 2 brothers, we didn't have a chance, and we all turned out well. And I just see people hurting. I grew up, 90% of the people in this where I lived that were poor were not my color. So they're wrong when they talk about housing projects being something that's for black people. And I'm gonna tell you something: when you see them folks, and they poor, when they're poor, they desperate. When we're poor, we survive. We make way. I had a good tribe around me, growing up. My grandmother, God rest her, and everything like that. But I'm trying to get everything together and get the people together to try to get this woman out of office, or at least send a message.
Well, we're going to help you whatever way we can, brother, all right? Because more representation in these spaces is needed, all right?
But another thing is I talked to somebody from the National Weather Service, and they said Donald Trump he's responsible for what happened in Texas. Now, Tennessee and Texas are kind of related, like brother and sister or something. And I relate to them. They're kind of the same as we are.
Yeah.
As far as what the vibe is and what the lifestyle is and everything like that. But he's responsible for those children losing their lives because that woman said that they only forecasted 1 to 3 inches of rain.
Wow.
And see what happens with weather cells is they change, and they have storm trackers that will tell you if this storm is going to go bad. We had them here.
Yeah.
That's the reason Diane Harshbarger announced that she can't necessarily determine if we're going to be able to have the proper notification or help that we need here, because here it can be winter, spring, and summer all in 5 hours.
Wow.
And
it's very important people understand that whether they like it or not, science is real, and it could have devastating consequences or it could have good consequences depending on your ability to actually understand it. It's very important. And what we see happen in Texas and other states, they say it's going to happen in other states, is evidence of that, right?
Yeah, it's tough to live in a world where people that you thought you knew people don't love each other anymore like we should, and they're so entrenched in their ideology that was created by someone who shouldn't even be in office, that is profane. And then he has all these people around here that shouldn't be. You think Marjorie Taylor Greene or Lauren Boebert should be in office?
I personally?
There they are.
I don't think they should be based on my standards. But if they actually were elected in there, then it's a reflection of the population that voted for them. And you know what? You get what you paid for, if you ask me. All right, seriously. All right. Now listen, I gotta try to move it along, Doc, because there's a few more people I gotta get to, and then I gotta get up out of here. All right, but ladies and gentlemen, let's give Dr. Lex a huge round of applause. Make sure you're following him. He can help you. He can tell you more about how you can help him get where he's trying to be in that election out there in Tennessee. All right. Thank you, Doc.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Zeus, I'm going to email you that track.
All right.
Thanks for the compliments. And sorry, Zeus, I didn't mean to do that to you.
Yeah. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Lex has left the building. Zeus. And I'm going to deal with the treason in the midst. I will deal with the treason in the midst just as soon as I come up with an appropriate way to deal with it. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I don't tend to get upset about a lot of things, but when you do what you do, that treason stuff, and Lex, you're looking so, no, you're probably better off just sticking to policy. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, I would encourage all of you to just please stick to policy a little bit more. All right. Oops. I know I got to get to Shay next. I knew Nutty, you had to come up too, but we're going to get to all of the ones that I know I'm supposed to get to. Good morning, Nutty. I call him Nutty. Good morning.
Gobble, gobble.
Who you talking to? Jive Turkey. Zeus, I got him. Jive Turkey.
Hey, Zeus, your mother sent me a text. She said, tell my son to give Jim a pass. So okay. I'm telling you.
First of all, how you gonna say my mom texted him? Because that's a lie from the pits of hell. No, mom would never. She would never.
She said that I'm the son that she really wanted. Because I am the most.
Silence. I need to get a silence you Antifa. That's the Antifa demon right there, ladies and gentlemen. Pay this man no mind. This man has woke up and lost his mind. Zeus. Are you brothers okay this morning? What did y'all do? Did I miss something? Y'all did something this morning? I don't know.
So listen, I know you got to get out of here. So there is a couple things that I had on my mind yesterday, and that I didn't say.
Yeah.
The first thing was, for all of my Latino and Latina brothers and sisters that are out there in Texas, I bet not see y'all trying to help rescue anybody. This is the time. This is the time to be selfish. And hold on, let me tell you why I'm saying that. What I fear because our communities are very empathetic. We don't have to be hit personally in order to have empathy and want to help others. But here's what I fear. I fear if you go help, they will accept your help, then they will detain you when you're done. don't do it.
Bingo.
This
I
is the
agree.
time- This is the time to be selfish, to think about yourself and your family.
Mm.
And I hate to say it. I really do, Zeus.
Somebody wrote two wrongs don't make a right, Nutty.
That's not wrong. That's not wrong. That is not wrong. Because where does charity begin?
Home.
It begins at home first. How can you help others when you're detained?
Well, it's like the oxygen mask thing in the airplane. They say you got to put yours on first.
You got to put yours on first.
I get it. I get it. That's safety.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we have people coming across. I said it in other lives this morning. We have people coming across the border from Mexico right now that are helping with this.
Get out of here.
Why is it that we're accepting their help, but then we want to boot them out of the country when they're not benefiting us, according to them? Yeah, Mexico has sent people over. They're on the ground right now.
I'm done.
Helping with search and recovery.
I'm done. And these so-called Christian, these hypocrites, they sitting there accepting the help.
Absolutely. And it's not, I posted the video.
I'm done.
And on their vest, they have the picture of the picture of their flag.
This is crazy.
The Mexican flag. And people are appreciative because they do need the help. They do need help.
No, where's DJ at? DJ, is he out there?
Here's
DJ?
my proposal, Zeus. Why isn't Broken Wheels Abbott? Why hasn't he sent in the Texas National Guard? Why? They like using the National Guard and federalizing them. Why hasn't he sent in the National Guard? Why hasn't he sent in other first responders?
Why hasn't Trump taken the National Guard in control and sent in the National Guard either, like he's doing in California, right?
Well, the reason why I don't say Trump in this case is because they want to argue states' rights. They want to argue states' rights. So with that being said, it has to be Broken Wheels Abbott. And for another thing, Texas, where's Ted Cruz?
He's in Europe.
Greece. Cancun Cruz is now where? Is he in Egypt or is he in Greece?
I think he came back now, but he was in Greece. He was in Greece in Europe. Yeah.
Greek Cancun?
Yeah.
Cruz?
And
Cruz?
Tell them, Nutty. And they got on me about I said something about Mayor Karen Bass. You remember how they got on her about her being on vacation during the wildfires, and they tried to say, well, Zeus, it's different, she's the mayor. And I said, no, it's not different, MAGA, because I know one thing, you're only doing it because she's a black woman. Every other politician, no matter what walk of life they're in, as long as they're not black women, you'll sit there and excuse it. I see these folks. I see them.
So Zeus, can we do a very quick experiment? Are you there in front of a computer?
I am, actually. That's a good question.
Could you please just look this up for me? Could you please look up the number of people that Mayor Bass represent? The population of Los Angeles?
Let's see, 3.821 million. That's what came up.
I'm going somewhere here, Zeus. Now, Zeus, will you please look up the population, the number of citizens Ted Cruz represents?
Let's see. So he's in the 21st district, all right? So let's see.
Yeah, we're going somewhere here, MAGA. And DJ, I see you there.
839,000 or so. That's what I cut.
839,000. I think it's a little bit more than that, but if that's what you're saying, we'll go with that.
Yeah, we'll go with that because that's what's coming up on my. And I'm pretty sure it depends on what year or when they got the data. But let's go with 839,000. Let's see.
So DJ is saying that Broken Wheels has deployed the National Guard. So DJ, when did that happen? And if it did happen, great. I'm glad that it happened. But But Jim told us about Texas House Bill 13.
Yeah.
Why are we sitting here talking about this when it could have been prevented? That's the entire point. It could have been prevented.
710,000, yeah. Yeah, it could have been prevented. They said if they would have had the air sirens, that would have went out. Because at 1 a.m., nobody's looking at their phone. Most people turn their phones off at night, so those alerts don't count. That's how I look at it. No. Do you have the ability to put it on the big siren? Yeah, so that would have woken people up.
So I said yesterday, Zeus, that little Janie Hunt, 9 years old, who lost her life, is the great niece. She's the great niece of Clark Hunt, the owner of Kansas City Chiefs. I think Jim said it was the granddaughter. No, she's the grandniece.
Yeah.
Either way, it's still a loss. That beautiful, poor soul, that beautiful child, 9 years old.
Yeah.
All these children who hadn't gotten a chance to live their life. It brought me back to Sandy Hook. Losing those babies. That we could have prevented. Sandy Hook, we could have prevented that. We could have prevented this that happened in Texas. Now, you can't prevent Mother Nature, but the warning systems. The warning system, it could have been prevented. Here's the issue that we're having with the right. These things are preventable. These unalivements are preventable. Why do we have the technology that we have and we don't use it?
Because they don't like being right. They don't like being right. All of this stuff is
preventable. They want to simp for these billionaires. They want to talk about, oh, no food is being taken out of children's mouth, but yet we're pro-life. They want to talk about, oh, waste, fraud, and abuse when it comes to the small people. But the last time I checked, the largest waste, fraud, and abuse comes from the corporate welfare recipients. Like Elon Musk, who's getting over $18 billion worth of government subsidies. I didn't hear nobody get in Zeus's live. When Elon Musk, and I say we because we're the taxpayers,
yeah.
When the $300 million rocket just blew up. That was $300 million of our dollars.
Amen.
It just boof, it's gone. Just like our Federal Reserve is boof, it's going because it's going into Trump and his cronies' pockets. But where are you? You want to talk about, all these people are on Medicaid and Medicare. They're not supposed to be there. I don't care.
I really don't.
Giving people health care, I don't care. Because health care should be a right, not a privilege.
Thank you.
I don't care.
Thank you. W Nutty. You're telling them the truth.
I would much rather the few pennies that I pay in taxes, I would much rather it goes to people who need it. Even those who don't need it, I don't care. I'm more concerned with the billionaires who's getting this corporate welfare. I'm more concerned about cutting from our military complex. Yes, I said it, folks. We need to cut our military spending.
And get Pete Kegsbreath to resign because he's totally incompetent and he doesn't know how to manage the money there anyway. So, yeah. He doesn't need that much money, but if you have somebody that's incompetent, then they always need more money.
Before they even get into comments, Zeus, and say, are you saying we're not supposed to shore up our military? Listen, our military is shored up enough.
Yeah.
They have enough money. When you want to talk about waste, fraud, and abuse, let's start there. Let's start there. Because when was the last time they passed an audit?
I can't think of it. So it's there.
When you can't pass an audit, you shouldn't get any more money.
Bingo. Thank you. Now listen, Nutty, I gotta move it along, buddy. But I do recognize you. I mean, what you're saying is very, very valid. And I do hope people continue to listen and say and follow what you're saying and connect the dots. All right, brother.
Appreciate you, Zeus.
All right, W Nutty. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're cooking and booking this morning. All right. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Good morning, Shay. How are you doing? Welcome. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good, my friend. How are you?
Busy morning, as you can see, right? Pretty
We
busy.
got a lot of long-winded friends. You know that?
Tell them, Shay. Tell them they get up here and they're all talking and they're saying so much great things. Time flies. I gotta say it. But that does happen.
It does. I'm telling you. But you know what? They're so right. They're so on point, and all of that. And all of you are very handsome. So,
well, you can be honest with me, Shay. You can be
handsome.
honest. These people that get up here, they're not that handsome, all right? But I guess it's the Zeus effect, perhaps. When they get around me, they tend to look a little bit better. I get it. All right, that's a good point, W, Shay. That's a good point.
Yeah, you can look at it like that, or you can look at it like
There's only one way to look at it. There's only one way.
Right, or you can look at it like we teach our children. You are who you hang out with, right?
Okay.
So handsome attracts handsome.
There you go. I get it, Shay.
Attracts brilliance, right?
Okay. Yeah, I can.
Attracts talented. Right?
There you go. I can
Smart
see that.
attracts smart.
Okay. You're twisting my arm, Shay.
Good. Okay.
You're twisting my arm. Fine. I'll reconsider. All right.
Okay.
Seriously.
Just know they're in the Thunderdome with you, in the kingdom with you, because you attract good people, my friend.
Thank you. I love it. And James, you got the letters mixed up. It's W Zeus. I don't know why you found the letter L. I don't know how you found that it's W Zeus, James. Do you know what you're saying?
No, they don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're saying. A couple of things I wanted to bring up, but I'll talk about this and then we'll get to the other thing. But I'm trying not to be long-winded, but 10 years ago, Memorial Day weekend, was a massive flooding by the Blanco River here in the state of Texas.
Oh.
Which was in the hill country. So where the Guadalupe runs is in the hill country.
Right.
Why do we call it the hill country? Because it's made of rock and limestone, and it's known for our beautiful small hills that we have in Texas, right? It's one of the prettiest parts of Texas. What does rock not do? Absorb water, correct?
Right.
Okay. So we often have had floods in Texas. It is a thing that the state of Texas knows. And 10 years ago, the Blanco River rose to 44 feet. The Guadalupe rose to 47 feet.
Whoa.
So when people are sitting here going, it's an act of God, it's very rare, no, it's not. It's not rare in the state of Texas. We go through one or two things. We go through major droughts or we go through major floods in this state, and that's a fact. We know our cattlemen and all of that kind of stuff know when the rivers are very low. We get reported on that. We know when the droughts are happening, so we welcome rain at times. What we also know is that when we get lots of rain, which we've been getting the last couple of years, our rivers rise and there is a promise of flooding at that point. Everybody knows this. I've been tubing down the Guadalupe many times. We've been in it where your butt is barely scraping across the rocks because the rivers are really low.
Right.
We know when we go and we look and we ask the campers and the camp people that run the camps, how's the river levels, right?
Right.
So everybody knows this in the state of Texas that has dealt with these issues in the rivers. So the problem is we get to is that when these small counties are being run by people, by bureaucrats that say, well, we don't have sirens in place, why not? You are aware that we've had lots of flooding. That was given to you. You know that there was already a warning of flash flooding before this happened.
Right.
It was already there. On top of it, we're all just FYI, anybody living in the hill country, I'd be figuring your stuff out because we got hurricane season upon us.
Right.
So y'all need to understand that, yes, there's a lot of warming and climate change. So part of the deal when they got rid of, it's in Project 2025, to get rid of anything that is the science that is proving climate change. That's why the NOAA was discontinued. Okay? Because that's what they do. They do aerial surveillance. They do all of that kind of stuff. And that science proves climate change, erosion, and high levels of this and high levels of that, and all of that kind of stuff. So when you get rid of things like this that want to go against science, This is the cause of this kind of stuff. So people that are running these towns and stuff like that, they're also very evangelical that believes that God will help them, right?
Oh
So there's
my
a
God.
whole tie-in to the state of Texas between these evangelical groups, which God bless Camp Mystic, they are part of that. This is a Christian group, and no, it is not all white. Stop saying that.
Okay.
It is wealthy families that are evangelicals, okay? Because it's very expensive. It costs $5,000 to send your child there. So it's an economic situation in a Christian camp. It is
Wow.
not based on skin color, okay?
Yeah.
But it is and I know I have friends that send their daughters there that they grew up going to Camp Mystic. It's very privileged. There's waiting lists, right?
Yeah.
You can. It's kind of like a sorority in a way, where like if your family, your mom and your sisters went there, then you can get at the top of the list. So that's Camp Mystic. But here and there or there, it is absolutely a tragedy. And I don't know that we could have prevented it. I do know that we could have saved more lives by putting sirens in the area and by absolutely letting the camps know that, listen, the waters are rising. If we get more rainfall, this could be bad. Put the campers up on the hill. The ones who were washed away were literally their cabins were on the river. So, and the ones that survived, their cabins were up on the hill.
Yeah.
So it just, there's a couple of things that could have been done. And I'm not blaming Republicans. I'm not blaming Democrats. We can't politicize this, but we do need to understand why this stuff happened in the state of Texas. And it is our politicians and our people here in the state that have not taken preemptive measures. And when you go against science and things like that, then, you know, this stuff is going to happen. We need to stay aware.
Amen.
And so I just wanted to talk about that as a native Texan. That
Fair enough. Well, I appreciate
we're aware
that.
of the rivers rising here.
I appreciate that, but you know, I'm going to say this: isn't it safe to say that we can at least say Trump is responsible because of the Doge cuts? Because
Yes, it definitely didn't help.
yeah,
It didn't cause it, but it didn't help.
well, if you cut the funding and lay off people, then the projections aren't as accurate. So, you know, that's something. And then they applied for the grant through the BRICS program. I talked about it yesterday, and they didn't get the funding. And so you have to start saying to yourself, do these people really think that nature is playing games? Isn't nature undefeated? Isn't nature undefeated?
Nature's undefeated. It's obvious. I mean, we dealt with, you know, Harvey and your reasons for mass flooding there and unkept levees. You know,
Yep.
New Orleans, same thing, run by Republicans, right? They didn't keep the levees up, and Katrina took them out.
Yep.
So there's a lot of problems within that, but they want to tell you that Democrat cities in Chicago and all of this stuff are poorly run, right? But it's interesting when these natural disasters are happening, they tend to happen in red states. And like I said, it's not their fault, right? We can't control natural disasters, but what we can control is infrastructure. Thank God for Joe Biden and his infrastructure bill. There's a lot of that stuff that could be happening. So I'm hoping that they'll put in sirens in these because there's tons of encampments along that area. I think there's over 200 camps, like summer camps and camping camps, like you can go and camp. So there's a ton of it because it's just gorgeous. It's the prettiest part of our state.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on there. But yes, I would ask for people not to politicize this, please.
Well, I'm going to try to do that, Shay, but we also have to keep in mind the Trump administration. The Trump administration, they're going to blame the Democrats. You do know Caroline Leavitt has done that. They done that, and so I don't want to tell people what to do. Yeah, we don't tell people what to do. I get it, but I have to say I'm very concerned that if we don't get in front of the politicizing of this, the blame will be placed on us, and that's just not going to be right. Because you heard her yesterday at her press conference, she didn't wear a cross, blah 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 blah. It's the Democrats that has this situation unfolding because they're in the media saying blah 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 blah. So how do you recommend we deal with that?
Well, I mean, I agree. I'm not saying just us not doing it. I'm saying the whole thing is ridiculous. I'm talking to everybody. Like, there's a hurricane, there's an earthquake, there's a wildfire. Can we not sit there and say, oh, you know, it's this and that? Like, Trump is just as horrible at it. So, Trumpers, stop clutching your pearls. When Democrats are literally calling out, hey, when you cancel the NOAA, this is a problem, right? When you won't talk about climate change and science, this is a problem.
Yeah, if they won't do it, Shay, I won't do it. If they don't do it, we won't do it. I won't do it. But once they open up that jar,
politicizing BS like this, I totally agree. But I always say, listen, we can be better, right?
Thank you. Thank you. You're right.
Because we do want to say, there's a lot of innocent lives that are taken here. And I'm hoping that, like I said, I just want y'all to be aware about the Blanco River in Wimberley. This has happened to us just 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse for the state of Texas to not have warnings and sirens. There's no excuse for any of this. We know growing up in Texas what happens here.
Yeah.
We know about this stuff. So that's what I'm speaking from in our state of Texas, how this could have been handled a lot better than it was.
All right.
It's the same reason for school shootings and things like that. Like we can't, there's a lot of stuff that could be done to prevent a lot of these tragedies.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is, so I'm just curious, why is Ghislaine Maxwell in prison if there's no list? Anybody?
Crickets, especially you so-called Christians. Crickets.
Why did Jeffrey Epstein unalive himself if he wasn't guilty of anything? Anybody?
They ain't got no answers for this. They got no answers. Thank you, Shay. Thank you.
This is, we could go into what was the political stunt with the MAGA TikTok and ex influencers. Remember the Binders?
Yeah.
Remember that big show, the Binders?
Yeah.
They had all the Epstein files
that
got released. Y'all remember that? That? So I'm just curious. And it's interesting because we've talked to a few, Trump supporters, and they're so angry right now. We've been lied to.
We've told them you were getting lied to a long time ago. Welcome to the party.
Yes. And I hope this wakes you up, that you understand that you've been propagandized, that you've been lied to, that you've been told it's this and that. They're not releasing it because Trump sent them. That's
Bingo.
Bottom line, bottom fact, and a bunch of Republicans. You need to know where his stuff was. New York and Florida.
Amen.
So there's a lot of Republicans in there too. So I'm just saying, and there's probably Democrats. I'm sure Billy's in there. We all know that.
Yeah.
But Billy's nowhere near the White House any longer. But, that's the thing is that, you've got to wake up over this. And it is funny watching Marjorie Taylor Greene, a lot of them flipping out over this, and Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Supposedly your party told you that they're in protecting the children and that the Democrats are the three PDOs. Do you remember that?
Yeah. They did say that, but we know where the truth is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right,
That's all I want to talk about.
All right.
Have a great week. I'm going to go meet my great niece.
All right. Well, you and the fam take good care. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful Shay. All righty then. Wow. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. I got to bring up Doc. Welcome. I don't get to talk to you that often. How are you doing, Doc?
Hey, how you doing, Zeus?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm just sort of just hanging out and looking at the destruction and the lies,
Yeah.
So when you go out here and you vote for people and it's all about the optics and it's all about, I'm going to play president,
Yeah.
and Trump plays president. He plays the role of trying to be presidential, but his whole demeanor, anything that he has done down through his career does not implement anything of a president.
No, sure it doesn't.
Okay, so now we have this big, beautiful bill that has passed, right?
Yeah.
Cuts to Medicare and Medicaid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How that is going to affect those people, even the MAGAs, that depend on healthcare. That will affect them. Now, there's other things that we have going on.
Yeah.
Like this Alcatraz, Auschwitz.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Alcatraz. Because that's a concentration camp.
Yep.
Okay. And
I get what you mean. Yeah.
Let me tell you how you sit up, or how a Republican can sit up and clap for that. You're clapping for a demise for a group of people. And for what reason? It does not make any sense. They're not rounding up criminals. They're rounding up people that's working in the field, people that are here just trying to make a living. And that the whole talking point
Yeah.
about immigration, if we look at that, that is when I look at that, it's racist. It's
Yeah.
racist. No one is illegal. No one is an illegal human. So you're saying that these people are illegal humans? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? All of MAGAs. Listen, if you go back and you look at your history,
Yeah.
you're going to see that your people were immigrants as well. Did they come in here the right way? No, they did not.
Nope.
They did not come in here the right way. So now you get up on your high horse with your fake Christianity because it is fake. Look at what you believe in. You don't believe in feeding the poor, housing, taking care of the sick, caring after your neighbor.
You don't.
And you just don't. And I'm just appalled at the morality here. I mean, and it's a deep mental
Yeah.
sickness
Yeah.
that we're dealing with. We got Kristi Noem. Look at who he has in his administration.
Think about that. Yeah. Criminals.
Criminals. These are criminals. Everything that they have done is illegal. It's just illegal. They have now gotten the Supreme Court to issue down immoral standings that are hurting the people. How can you allow immigrants to be deported to other third world countries where these people are not from? Where did that come from?
Evil.
I mean, that you
They
have
got-
to be, and the Supreme Court's supposed to be what, apolitical, but yet and still we continue to see them handing down these they just atrocious, ugly standing on the people. This will continue to get worse as we continue to go on.
Yeah.
So my prediction is, okay, we got all those children that were lost down in there because of the incompetence.
Correct.
Republicans go out here, that are behind that Republican, to me, spells nothing but racist. That's what that R really, really means. Okay? That big R. Okay? So, but it's the immorality.
Yeah.
It's the psychological warfare
Yeah.
that they're wreaking on the American people that has us in this state of just, I'm just so sick and tired of it.
Yeah.
We now have racists just openly walking down the street, Schnazis all walking down the street like this shit is damn, excuse me.
I got you.
Like this crap is normal, and it's not normal.
Yeah.
This is not normal. You can't sit up and tell me that this is normal. You can't sit up and tell me that you believe in freedom, because you MAGA are freedom loving, supposed to be freedom loving patriots.
Yeah.
And everything that you have done from January 6th on down, voting for the trash man who doesn't like anybody. He get up on TV.
Yeah.
What leader have we ever had as a president?
Amen.
To get up on national TV to say, I hate Democrats. We have never had a president like that. And that person is not a president for all America.
Amen.
He's a divider.
Amen. Tell him, Doc.
When it go down, because it's going to go down. And it's going to go down ugly. It's going to go down ugly.
It is.
You know what?
What's
we
that?
Gonna get ready.
Yes.
We're going to sit back.
That's
and
right.
We're going to wait. And we're going to wait. And
Amen. Keep it. Keep it on your hip, too. Let's go.
What they're trying to do is mess with you, you know, because we understand and have compassion for the next person.
Yeah.
So now you gonna pull at what I care for
and
try to take away from what I care for the next person. You rotten devils.
Amen. Rotten to the core.
Nothing good is going to come out of this.
Amen.
And we gonna see. And we're gonna sit back and we're gonna watch.
Amen. Amen. All right. All right, Doc. You took it. You brought it on home. Lord have mercy. That's a blistering rebuke out of this world, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give Doc a huge round of applause. I knew I was going to get you this morning. All right. Well, listen, I got to wrap it up. All right, Doc. But you're doing okay otherwise, right?
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Okay, all right. Okay. Stay blessed out there, all right? Stay blessed.
All right,
all right, ladies and gentlemen. That's beautiful, Doc. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I was trying to go as long as I can, but honestly, Big Zeus does have to get up out of here. You all deserve a huge, huge round of applause. Thank you, all of you, because without you, this show wouldn't be as incredible. The big blue wall is getting stronger by the day. We have Trump supporters literally afraid, terrified to get in the box, and this is what I've been trying to do, because I leave my platform open to all, so it's not like I'm blocking them and telling them that they can't be here. All right, W. Kabira, wow. Ooh, that's me making the wave. What an incredible and powerful show once again. Thank you so much. A special thank you to all of the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists, because without you, this show wouldn't be what it is, entertaining, educational, and engaging, all right? But we also got to give one last round of booze and shame. Glenn, I could care less about what the Democrats are polling, all right? But Glenn, this is for you. We're going to give one last round of booze and shame for all the Zeus haters out there. And these are not just my haters. These are your haters too. These people get on TikTok and they repeat everything their dear leader Donald Trump says for them to repeat. And right now, they got to repeat the biggest lie of the year. There's no Epstein list. This is the biggest lie. This is the most blatant disregard to someone being a human being ever possible. You told these people something very important existed, which was pretty damning as far as I'm concerned in terms of evidence that people are doing things that harm children. You told your people this. They voted for you because they believed you would give them this. And only to get 6 months in and have to have these same people turn around and go back and repeat, there's nothing there. You can't make this stuff up. Let's give these folks one last round of, you guessed it, booze and shame.
Silence, you MAGA danger.
All right, I'm out of here. I got to go. Take care, ladies and gentlemen, and have a great rest of your morning. We are out of here. Have a great rest of your morning. Thank you, everyone. Coco, looking good. Keep it going. Thank you to all the real ones out there that didn't. Thank you to all the real ones out there that wasn't letting Dr. Lex do what he did up here. Because seriously, and you saw what Nutty tried to do, and Eugene out there. All right. Thank you, all the real ones. I mean, I love all of you, but you know what they did. And again, I'm going to ask God to pray and give me some sort of forgiveness. I need to be able to forgive, right? W Sticky Fingers. Thank you, everyone. Uh-oh, we hit the goal. Lena, Rick, Kamira, Tiffany for the people, Ralph, Cindy, Ange, W, Doc, Michelle, Maribel, Keisha, I knew I saw you. My bad. Don't worry, Keisha. I got you. Don't worry. We in God's hands. Let's go. Craig, Stacy, Cindy. Thank you. Shout out to, you go to Japan, they say, arigato gozaimasu. You don't know that, but I know about that. Miss Barn, thank you. Angel, oh, you want me to connect the dots? Yeah. You twisted my arm. Thank you, Shay. Here we go. Hey. All right. Drill, baby, drill. And then we are out of here, ladies and gentlemen.
Kamala Harris's war on Pennsylvania energy. Because she's gonna ban fracking, right?
Yeah, she's gonna ban fracking. Okay, we got some drill, baby, drill. You asked for it, you're gonna get it.
She's against fracking, against all this stuff, and then all of a sudden, about a year and a half ago, when she was getting killed in the polls, she said, "I like fracking very much." Like they always go back to.
They always go back to what they want.
They always go back. She can't help it. She's a radical left Marxist. She can't help it.
Pennsylvania.
And we will frack, and drill, baby, drill. Drilling so deep. We're gonna be for these guys. We're gonna drill. We're gonna take out so much money. We're gonna pay down our debt.
Yes.
We're gonna lower your taxes to insane asylums. They go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna frack.
Let's go. You know she's gonna bang it.
A promotion, let's against fracking against all this stuff.
Wow, we hit the goal. Thank you, Marissa. She said, I like very much. They always go back to what they want. They always go back. She can't help it. She's a radical.
She can't help it. We're gonna end that. And we will frack, and drill, baby, drill. We're gonna drill, baby, drill. We're gonna be drilling so deep. We're gonna be for these guys. We're gonna drill. We're gonna take out so much money. We're gonna pay down our debt. We're gonna lower your taxes deep. Insane asylum. They go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal.
Hit it.
Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna frack. Drill, baby, drill. Like it's Hannibal, like it. Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna drill, baby, drill. We're gonna drill like it's Hannibal, like it. Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna drill, baby, drill. We're gonna drill like it's Hannibal, like it.
Here we go. You know they go crazy when I say.
The late great Hannibal Lecter.
They do? Really? Why?
Why would you mention Hannibal Lecter?
Yeah, why would you mention Hannibal Lecter? What are we going to do?
We're going to lower your taxes.
Oh.
Deep insane
That
asylums.
part.
They go crazy when I say
Say
the
what?
late great Hannibal.
Anthony!
Lower your taxes. Deep insane asylums.
You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal.
Drill.
Hey, you drill. Hey, you drill. Like it's Hannibal Lecter time. What we gonna do? We're gonna lower your taxes. They go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. Now you know I can't let up off a tiny tank top Tim Tom. You know he riding around in that 2016 Toyota. What is it? I don't know what it is, but he can barely put gas in it. Listen, why would you want to be with a zero when you can be with a hero? Okay. Listen, we're gonna pay off all your debt. We're gonna lower your taxes like you wouldn't believe, because guess what? We got so much liquid gold underneath our feet. And all we gotta do is drill, maybe drill to get to it. And then after that, we'll do a little bit of that fracking, because I know what you mean. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. All right, I seriously gotta go. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great rest of your morning.